from the remodeled historic Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. As the anthem plays on, the Miami Hurricanes visit the Cincinnati Bearcats, and the Canes haven't trailed yet this season. A lot of big conference games await for them, but right now they're making their final prep for one very tricky non-conference game. Al Golden knows this challenge is going to need all of their focus here in Cincinnati, especially on defense, because the Cincinnati offense has been incredible. Now back at home after one of the most thrilling offensive performances in school history. They have the second best passing attack in the country. Now, a week ago at Memphis, Cincinnati's starting quarterback Gunnar Kiel was much of our focus. Took that hard hit and was motionless on the field with what the team termed a neck injury. Sent to the hospital, thankfully cleared to travel home with his teammates. In his place stepped up Hayden Moore. All he did was throw for a school record 557 yards. It's a performance that came up just short of a win. Our Kaylee Hartung has the latest on the quarterback situation for Cincinnati. Good evening, Kaylee.
Hey there, Tess. Gunnar Kiel not yet cleared to play or even practice with his team this week. We will see him on the sideline tonight in street clothes. Now, he cleared all concussion protocol last Thursday night at that hospital in Memphis, but I'm told his neck is still sore. Now, what that's meant for Hayden Moore all week is that he's known he's the guy. It's a situation he hasn't found himself in since high school. Now, coaches say Hayden Moore has a demeanor they love to coach. He's a sponge. We will see that interaction on the sidelines tonight.
Look forward to seeing what he's doing. Joe, Jesse, and David with you. Hey, Miami has had a long, impressive list of quarterbacks. Brad Kaya falls in line. ACC Rookie of the Year last year. Looking like a sensational sophomore this year, Jeff.
Yeah, and the hopes for Miami's football team this year rest on the shoulders of a 20-year-old true sophomore in Brad Kaya. You mentioned played phenomenally a year ago as the ACC Rookie of the Year, and he's got skills. Most importantly, he's accurate. In an offense that likes to push the football downfield in the intermediate to deep throws, he's deadly accurate. I think he's done a better job this year. Quick decisions. So the first guy's not open, he moves on to the next. And when you combine that quick decision-making with his accuracy, he's been much more efficient this season already early this year, leading the ACC in passing yards per game.
6'4", well-skilled quarterback. He's off to a good start again. Now here at Nippert Stadium, old historic Nippert Stadium with a new, fresh look and a much-anticipated primetime game for the Bearcats, who were picked to win the American. But the American has been a little bit ahead of schedule with the parity and some of the good teams out there. So 0-2 in conference play, 2 wins overall, but this would be a really nice notch on the belt. The all-black unis tonight at home. You know, we mentioned the quarterback, Kaya, for Miami. The concern may be the other side of the ball, facing this offense in Cincinnati, and without 2 good defensive backs to start the game because of a targeting call 2 weeks ago.
And you mentioned Cincinnati being the second-ranked passing offense in college football, so they're putting up over 400 yards a game. One thing you want in your back end is some senior leadership, a safety that can communicate and make sure you're in the right coverage. Well, Deion Bush, your senior safety, who's put in a lot of work, made a lot of big plays for your unit. Because of that call right there, targeting, he's out of the game. Another guy, Jamal Carter, the other safety that plays the majority of the time, he also gets a targeting call. 2 of your back-end guys that you need for communication and leadership out of the game against a high-flying passing attack. That's not good for your defense.
Miami's second in the nation in turnover margin. Cincinnati's turned it over 14 times. Kickoff to your college football weekend is next. First, a visit to the Nissan Heisman House.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Vinny. Hurricane's coming, huh? Oh. Ready?
That's not fair, man.
What's not fair?
Joe, Jesse, David, and Kelly with you here in Cincinnati. Glad you're with us to start the college football weekend. Miami and Cincinnati will get it started. And Al Golden loves seeing this little circle drill to get the boys revved up before they hit the field. As the Nissan pregame rush gives us a chance to listen into the Miami head coach moments ago in the locker room with his 3-0 Canes.
Remember, right? You do not rise to the occasion. You fall back on your training. Make sure you are trusting that. Trust your training. Hey, man, what kills adversity? Unity. You got it. Use it. Use it. Be smart. Be disciplined. 4-0 finish. Okay, bow your head. You guys know what to do.
You know, his first few years, he stepped into that messy situation with the NCAA investigation. Now in his 5th year, really feels strongly about this team. The total buy-in with Miami. Cincinnati, you know what they did offensively a week ago. They've been up-tempo all year long. Tommy Tuberville, 20 wins, 10 losses since taking over the Bearcats, as this has been the Nissan pregame rush. Since he won the toss, they deferred. Miami will receive. Andrew Gantz to kick away. Mark Walton and Corn Elder back deep for the Canes. And it is fielded at about the 4-yard line by Elder. And Elder stiff arms his way out close to the 25. So the Californian kid who's been a star in South Florida, Brad Kaya, last year against Cincy, threw for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns. Didn't have an interception. That was a big win. Had a 79-yard touchdown pass against the Bearcats a year ago. 16 straight games with at least a touchdown pass.
He's big, he's strong, he makes really good decisions. He's got good playmakers around him. He's got all the tools to be a great and one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
We're going to go to Joe Yearby to get things going, and it's a good run for the sophomore from Central High in Miami, 15 yards. You see the road to arrive at this point. They were up big on Nebraska. Nebraska charged back, but Golden cited that as a moment when the leadership on the sidelines took over and said, all right, it happened. Let's go win in overtime. Play action now. Kaya, as they're able to slip Dobard right down the middle on a seam.
This is a nice job by Miami's offense, making play action look like run. You're going to see them pull a lineman this way, and when these linebackers see it, they bite up, and it opens up a hole over the middle of the field for the tight end to run into.
A 23-yard reception. Terrell Gilbert was injured at the end of that play, so the trainers walk him off the field. Good opening drive for Miami. Here's a slant now, and that is complete to Brady.
Miami offensively off to a very fast start tonight. And guys, that's something we've seen from the Hurricanes here. Their last 5 games, they've been able to score points on their opening possession. So even though they're playing on the road, first time out of the state this year, Brad Kai's got these guys rolling.
High-ranked offense against a struggling defense, and you see the results already. Yearby another carry that time as he was tackled by Fitz.
But I think that's going to be the part about this offense that makes them really hard to stop, is when you got a quarterback like Kai we've talked about with experience and making the decisions at the line, good decisions. You got a guy like Yearby that you can hand the ball off to that can make big plays. I mean, Duke Johnson, I know he's a great player, but he's not that missed when you got a guy that's this good. Watch number 2, and they're going to hand him the football a lot, makes big plays.
2nd and 6. They run power to the near side, well blocked, and picks up the first down, does Yearby. As they pulled that guard and paved the way.
They've had a lot of success on this opening drive, pulling linemen up front. Look at these big bodies getting to the perimeter. You're getting bigger bodies at the point of attack. And Joe Yerby, who added 20 pounds this offseason, he just looks like he's a stronger runner in his second year in this offense.
Late flag came in. They got him for clipping on the outside there.
He's got those guns, too. Those guns show a little bit more than they did as a true freshman a year ago.
So that'll march the Canes back a bit there.
You know, penalties have been a big issue early this year for Miami. They were huge in their game against Nebraska. They had 13 penalties in that game. They had 2 long touchdowns by true freshman running back Mark Walton erased because of those penalties, and that's how you blow a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter. Tonight, got to play smart. You heard Al Golden tell his team before the game in the locker room, play smart and disciplined.
2nd and 20 as they go with an inside screen and nowhere to go for Scott that time. That was well defensed by Zach Edwards.
And here's an area that Miami has really struggled in early this year. 3rd downs. They have not been able to keep drives alive. 2nd worst 3rd down offense right now in the Football Bowl subdivision. That just happens to be a strength for Cincinnati defensively. Expect Cincinnati here to play a big soft zone, keep the football in front of them.
Tackle for loss, and now it's a 3rd and 21. They only bring 3. Delayed handoff to Yerby here on 3rd and 21 as he makes his way inside the 25 to the 24.
It's a good play call by Miami, getting a lot of that yardage back to allow your kicker, Michael Badgley, an opportunity to kick one through the uprights.
He's a confident young man. He had 5 field goals, a school record against Nebraska.
He's never missed between 40 and 49 yards in his career. 7 for 7 all time. He's automatic from that distance.
41-yard attempt. 2 for 2 this year from this distance. And Miami is on the board first. 41-yard field goal from Michael Badgley. We will see that high-revving Cincinnati offense when we return. Cincy has the 3rd best total offense in the country, but they are missing some key parts. Told you about quarterback Gunnar Kiel. Mike Boone, outstanding running back, is out. And wide receivers Chris Moore and Johnny Horton, who would be out on kick return, but got rolled up on last week, has a bad knee, so he's out this week. As Johnny Horton not back there. Instead, it's Frank Labadie and Shaq Washington as John Semarine kicks off for the Canes. And it is angled towards the corner and goes out of bounds. So off the mark is Semarine. So Gunnar Kiel left the game last week. 2 weeks in a row he left the game with what was diagnosed as a neck injury. Hayden Moore last week at Memphis. I mean, a jaw-dropping performance, 557 yards in 3 quarters.
Joe, I've never seen a quarterback improve more within one game that Hayden Moore did. You think about 2 weeks ago against Miami of Ohio, it was hard to even execute a handoff to the running back. Last week in 3 quarters, he set a school record, looked like an All-American with his decision-making, with his accuracy. He's a very confident young freshman right now playing in this game. Keep in mind, Miami, easily the most athletic defense he's seen in his young career.
Jose Williams will start off the game for the Cincinnati offense as he rolls his way to the 40-yard line. Temple's a good football team they lost to back on September 12th. And then the thriller last week against Memphis, 53-46. They had 100 plays on offense. 2nd and 5. Moore gets this complete as he finds McKay downfield.
Tremendous read by Hayden Moore early. Miami gave a look like bump and run man-to-man at the start of the play. You're going to see right here, this is the matchup he wants. The nickel defender just lets him run right by into the zone, and it's a nice throw protecting the receiver away from the corner.
Moore quickly gets it out to the outside as he finds Chisholm. And it's another first down for Cincinnati. I mean, they're picking up where they left off in the Memphis game offensively.
And it's a very friendly offense for the quarterback, and you see it right there. Great job. You see the numbers on the outside, spit it out on the perimeter really quickly, doing a good job reading things quickly, and that's what he did last week for 3 quarters.
This is the pace they prefer. 100 plays a week ago, 90 plus the week before. Williams, as he was wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and then finds his way free. Jose Williams, how about that? He just kept chugging and plugging and running his way. 29-yard touchdown.
And it appeared Miami safety Rayshon Jenkins had this stopped in the backfield. He came off the edge, completely untouched this way. He's there to make a tackle. He's got him wrapped around the waist. Give Jose Williams credit, just kept the Pistons firing.
And we talked about in the open, Deion Bush suspended for the first half. Jamal Carter suspended for the first half. Jenkins in there because of that, has an opportunity to make a play. Misses the tackle, gives up a touchdown.
He's from Miami, and he just went through Miami's defense. Jose Williams, tremendous effort here.
They always tell running backs and any ball carrier, play's never over until you hear the whistle. And just keep running hard. I'm sure at this point right now, he's thinking to himself, 1, 2, 3 yard gain. You see a lot of white jerseys just sitting around watching. There's no game tackling. They're not getting to the point, helping out their player. You see number 56 right there, Raphael Kirby, looking back at his guys like, come on.
And I don't understand what Jenkins was doing either, because I understand when you're trying to strip the football and you hold somebody up, but he was holding him up and he was just trying to pick him up off the ground. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Grab the guy, go to the ground with him unless you're trying to strip the football.
For the first time all year, Miami trails in a football game.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, how did they respond? Get punched in the mouth a little bit on the road on a situation
I think
like
it's
that.
a great point. It's uncharted waters early in the season for a team that's still relatively inexperienced in Miami. We talked about this. Playing on the road, first time you're playing out of state. How do they respond right now? How do they handle this adversity so early in a game?
And the good thing is, if you've met Brad Kai or spent any time around him, he don't care.
He's a cool guy.
He doesn't care. He's cool. He's relaxed. He's calm. He gets the football back right now. It'll be fun to see him respond, but with what he's shown us so far throughout his career, he's handled everything very well.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, is coming to you live from Clemson. 9 a.m. Saturday morning. This is going to be a great atmosphere for Notre Dame at Clemson. They're going to talk about the after party when coaches go from those stoic figures we have on the sidelines to the dancers in the locker room, sort of like we see time and time again with Dabo Sweeney down there.
The whip and the nene was not Dabo's finest moment.
Hey,
still love it.
Give him credit for the effort on the
love
whip
that
and
he
nene.
tried. Love that he's excited.
All he cares about is that he was whipping and nene.
You get a W, he's going to dance.
Because it means they won.
Kaya now. Batted away at the last moment by Zach Edwards.
One thing about safety Zach Edwards I like on film, he does a really good job watching the quarterback's eyes and then reacting. There's a tight end wide open, right over the middle of the field is Daubert. Kai had to take a little bit off this throw to throw it over top of middle linebacker Bryce Jenkinson, but just a better job reacting in the secondary by Edwards.
And looking at the ball. A lot of times you're always trying to blow that guy up.
Here's Walton now, and Walton's run down. Good pursuit down the line that time from Bryce Jenkinson.
Another big third down here for Miami. And I think one thing Cincinnati has not done a very good job of this year is pressuring the quarterback. They only have 5 sacks in 4 games. Silverberry Muhan right there, he's their best pass rusher. This is a guy who's a senior. He's got to have a big game tonight. He's got to win his one-on-one matchups and get pressure on Brad Kai and make him uncomfortable.
It's also one of the best names in college football, Silverberry Muhan.
They're the all-name team, Cincinnati. You go through their roster enough. 3rd and 8. Kaya with time, and he overthrows the intended target, Scott. So Cincinnati's defense does their job. Justin Vogel, who's 2nd in the ACC, 13th nationally in punting average. He goes over 46 yards a strike. Will be punting away. Shaq Washington is the return man for Cincy. Washington driven back to just inside the 20. He has blockers in front. Shaq Washington, could he? Crosses midfield, stutter steps, re-engages, finds his balance inside the 20. 69-yard punt return for Washington.
And it looked as though Shaq Washington was going to be pinned into the sideline right here. He does a nice job of using his speed, making the first guy miss, and getting back to where all his blockers were set up. Like we saw in that last drive with Miami's defense, a couple of missed tackles. There's not a cutoff miss there. There's another missed tackle right there.
Watch Jaquan Johnson on this play, number 4. Misses the play right there. You see him, number 4, running across the screen. Falls down, gets up, runs down the field and makes the tackle at the 11-yard line. That's effort that saves points and saves games.
Moore trying to extend the play. Touchdown, Bearcats, Mikhail McKay.
Well, Hayden Moore had all night
to bake a pie back there
to throw this football. You see here, the offensive line does a nice job of protection. He's able to buy himself a little bit from Grace, and he's got a 6'5" receiver in McKay jumping up over top of a 5'10" safety in Dallas Crawford in the baseline. A nice throw by Moore, putting that where only his wide receiver can make the play. It was the receivers or nobodies. We talked about this explosive offense for Cincinnati. Well, they're putting it on Miami early.
Boy, is this flatter Memphis, by the way. Some of these offenses in the American, you can just flat out go. It was set up by Shaq Washington. 69-yard punt return. Weaving his way and speeding past the special teams unit for the Canes. And then Hayden Moore. The good times keep on rolling for the backup turn starter.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Cincy's Nippert Stadium is the third oldest in the FBS. Goes back to 1915, but I'll tell you, $86 million goes pretty far nowadays. This place is beautiful now.
Yeah, you know, this has always been one of my favorite places to call games, along with you guys. It's an intimate stadium. It's one of the oldest in the country. It's here on campus. It's kind of dug into this pit. It's below street level. You see right there, third oldest stadium in the FBS, still in use. Just kind of an electric atmosphere. Always fun calling games here at Nippert Stadium.
Renovations have been very impressive, as has Cincinnati in the last minute 22. 2 touchdowns in that span. Kaylee.
Well, guys, just as you predicted, Brad Kaya facing his first deficit of the season, keeping his cool. Throughout the duration of that very short Cincinnati possession, he was on his bench having a conversation with his offensive coordinator, James Coley. Very calm. The most excited he got was when Malik Rozier, his backup and roommate, got in his face, tried to pump him up. Kaya looked back at him and said, "It's nothing. It's nothing. Let's do this."
Sophomore quarterback. As Kaylee said, first deficit of the year he faces. First down throw as they settle into that pitch that time to Herb Waters. And they're saying that's incomplete.
One of the biggest differences for Brad Kaya this year have been leadership, as Kaylee was just pointing out. As we go back and take a look at this, intended throw for Waters again. Nice job breaking on the ball by Leviticus Payne. Yeah, look at the ball. Did definitely. It kind of wobbled. He didn't look like full possession. It's just hard to tell if that ever touched the ground or not.
2nd and 10. As they come to the near side, and shaking free is Brady, and a good move to get out in front of the 40-yard line. That'll move the chains.
And this is what makes this offense hard. You see pre-snap, somebody goes in motion. A lot of times it's Yerby a dangerous playmaker goes across your face, and then he does a great job running play action, throwing the ball all the way in the perimeter. Good decision maker. That's what when you talk about Kai, I know he's got all the physical tools, but really does a good job of seeing defenses and understanding where to go with the football and without putting your offense in a bind or making mistakes.
Cincinnati brought Edwards up to the line. Kaya now checks. Play clock down to 1. Play action again. And he's got Waters dragging, but he is wrapped up, loses his shoe as Payne got to him.
It's a great play by Leviticus Payne. You know, a couple weeks ago, Adrian Whitty, their 6th-year captain boundary corner, was lost for the season with an ankle. They had to move Leviticus Payne from the nickel and move him outside into the boundary. Watch him here chase this play and make a solid tackle. He got his first start in the boundary last week against Memphis, and they tried him 3 times on deep balls. 5'9" corner. Never gave up one of those deep completions. He's played very, very well in emergency relief here.
Delay handoff on 2nd down as Yerby makes his way to the 47, tackled by Tongamoa.
And Cincy's defense has really struggled through the start of the season, but tonight doing a great job tackling. They've missed a lot of opportunities, but you saw the last one by Payne. You've seen it on screens. You've seen a good job using their eyes. 3rd and 5 again. They've been dropping back and they've been reading Brad Kaya's eyes. Can they continue to do that and make big plays and break on the football?
I think pass rush, David, too, is still a big thing for this defense. It's not a unit that likes to blitz a lot, so they rely on the front 4 to get home. Brad Kaya is not a phenomenal runner. You got to make him run east-west. Get him out of his comfort zone.
2-by-2 stack here on 3rd and 5. And the quick out for a first down to Brady. Brady's off to a good start, the 6'3" sophomore.
And that kind of shows what David's talking about with the decision-making from Brad Kaya. Just understanding the defense, having an idea pre-snap who might be getting the football. So this is just catch, load, fire right away. There's no wasted motion. That ball has to be thrown on time to Brady. He's working the sideline. If he's late, it's incomplete and you're punting.
There's Mark Walton.
You know, the thing I
Good
like
run
about
on first down for Walton.
Sorry, Joe. The thing I like about Brad Kaya this year is he's a CEO quarterback this year. He's at the line of scrimmage. He's making decisions. He's in control. He's calling out the cadence. He's waiting for the defense to move. And you watch on film, he's changing protections, doing it all by himself without help from the sideline.
2nd down, Kaya, as he patiently waited that time for Walton to come under, and he gets the reception, tackled by Jenkinson.
And I like the way you talk about the way he knows where to go with the football. I also like the way he works through his progressions. You can see here, there's a lot going on. Stick in the belly, play action, pumps right, looks left, goes down to his check down. I mean, that's really quickly going through 3 decisions and making the right one to get positive yards and stay ahead of the sticks and give yourself a chance to convert the first down and at least give yourself a 3rd down and short.
They're going to measure this, David.
Yeah.
See Kaya's.
That's a sophomore. That's
first quarter here.
That's a true sophomore. That's senior stuff that he's doing right there.
And that's what I think so impressive is you're right. It's the decision making. It's the control he's in at the line of scrimmage. I remember last year he's at the line of scrimmage and looking to the sideline for help. Hey, if the defense does this, what do I do? What run play should I get to? He's in control of all that right now. And I think when you combine his football IQ and his quick decision making and the fact that he's so accurate, that's the reason Brad Kaya is only throwing 4 picks in his last 303 attempts coming into tonight. He keeps this offense on schedule.
You know, offensive coordinator James Coley, he was at Florida State. He worked with E.J. Manuel, Christian Ponder. He says Kaya is more accurate.
Wow.
He says right now he's more accurate.
Those are first-round picks. Kaya definitely has all the tools. There's not a doubt in my mind he'll be an NFL draft pick. The question is how high when it's all said and done.
3rd down and 1. He's got Walton in the backfield with him. And quarterback sneak easily as he was able to take it ahead for a gain of about 2.5 yards.
So it's a nice answer by Miami in the big picture. Down 14-3. Cincinnati had 5 plays on offense, put up 2 touchdowns, and you wonder, we talk about how's Miami and this inexperienced team going to respond with Al Golden here on the road out of state. Kaylee told us Brad Kaya calm, retaking the field, and this offense just looks like they've gotten back in rhythm, not even blinking.
Some motion up front that time.
False start. Number 5 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
First time Miami got in the red zone, remember it was a holding call that backed him up and knocked him out of field goal range. The offense has done pretty well, but it's those kind of mistakes that just makes it easier on the defense, obviously. Everybody knows that. Play a little bit more, I can play a little safer. Don't have to worry about the run game as much.
First and 15. Kaya over the middle, and that was overthrown. Trailing 14-3 here on the road. And there's been this constant theme of criticism surrounding Al Golden. This was over the stadium before kick. Guy says he flew 1,100 miles just to say #fire Al Golden. Listen, Al Golden came in and didn't see what was going to hit him right in the face with this program. You know, the investigation in that cloud, recruiting, they were struggling to get the local kids. Now they've got 31 of a committed 33 from Florida, and he feels like they are right on the edge of getting this thing back to where it was, Jesse.
I think that's what fans are waiting for. They still not played in an ACC championship game since they joined the conference in 2004.
Second and 15. Simply over the middle that time. Settling in was Scott.
Well, another thing too, Joe, is if you look at last year, they had 7 guys drafted as well. So you had 7 guys drafted, you had 6 wins. So I think Miami fans go, wait, we got talent. Why didn't we win? Why didn't we win more games than 6 a year ago? And those banners, first of all, you wasted a lot of money if you really flew that far to wave that banner. But your team's also 3-0 if you're supporting your team and has a chance to go 4-0. And the ACC looks pretty wide open. So before you start firing coaches, you might want to watch what he does the rest of the season.
Wait to see what Kaya does here on 3rd and 9. Nearly intercepted. As it was Cortez Broughton getting involved up front on that defensive line.
Cincinnati decided to bring pressure, which they don't normally do, but the freshman Cortez Broughton, number 96, great job watching the quarterback. He knows he's not going to get home. He's not going to get a sack. Slow up his rush.
Hey, if you're Stevens,
get your hands up.
Stevens, you got to get this one. Watch 32. That's a gift, dog. You don't give many like that. How about the big fella, Broughton, tipping it.
47-yard attempt now for Badgley. And Badgley's having himself a great season. Had 5 field goals against Nebraska and 2 here in the first quarter on the road at Cincinnati. Glad you're with us here in Cincinnati, where aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Whether you drive 100 yards or 100 miles, choose Goodyear tires for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Joe, Jesse, David, and Kaylee with you. Miami has won 11 straight against Cincinnati. Since he won the first meeting back in 1947. But then the Canes have owned the series. Cincinnati's offense has been solid, though, tonight, taking advantage of opportunities. 14-6 lead. Pair of field goals for the Canes. As Frank Labate will just take a knee.
Pretty efficient offense tonight for Cincinnati.
5 plays?
5 plays, 14 points. Starts here with Jose Williams doing a great job keeping the play alive, breaking tackles on a long touchdown run. Then Shaq Washington sets up this long punt return to set up Mikhail McKay's score.
And the next play, no pass rush. Take your time, extending the play. Throw where McKay can only get it, and so far a good start. Remember, it's a freshman. It's supposed to be Gunnar Keel's team, and now you look at Moore coming in, again, having a fast start after throwing for 557 last week against Memphis.
Aiden Moore 3 for 3. And another completion to tack on, and another first down that time, and it is Shaq Washington.
See the numbers, they just get off the page. This to me is a little disappointing right here, though. Only 40 points a game. When you've got over 622 yards, that means you're not playing great in the red zone. And that's an issue Cincinnati's had early tonight already, 1 for 1 in red zone.
You think college football's changed a little bit? You're saying only 40 points a game?
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You know, they need to improve a little bit. This team's struggling
People
a little bit.
People in Baylor right now are laughing.
Yeah. Baylor says that's a good first quarter. Tion Green up ahead to the 40-yard line.
You know, it's amazing, this running back situation for Cincinnati. These guys actually sub themselves, which is very uncommon. Normally,
that would not be good for me.
Coaches,
no,
the guys
nobody else would be on the field.
No,
these guys,
are you kidding me?
they just tap their helmets when they think the next guy should go, and they need a breath of air. And
nope,
very unselfish.
I'm good, guys. Thanks.
2nd and 5. Moore sprints, throws, complete. Washington again, midfield first down.
I wish Palmer would tap his headset sometimes and shut up and let me get in.
It's like,
well, go ahead, David. Tell us about the Cincinnati running backs if you want airtime.
Well, you know, Boone, look at him. He's averaging a first down a carry, 9.6, but he's not playing.
Not playing.
So that's a struggle. But the other guys, yeah. Hey, Green, you tired? Williams, come on in.
Here's Moore. Intercepted. A rare mistake from Moore. As it's Jenkins. And he fumbles the ball. But it was fallen on by Dallas Crawford.
So we've talked about Moore, and he's made good decisions so far. This time, he never looks left. He stares down his receiver the whole time, and you can see Jenkins, remember, who's the guy who missed the tackle on the long touchdown run. He comes all the way across the screen. Look at him. Moore's looking right the whole time at the safety spot, comes over, picks it off. It's a big mistake for Moore.
Well, and you like to see that if you're Al Golden and this Miami coaching staff, because again, Deion Bush, Jamal Carter, 2 safeties that start and get a lot of time, they're suspended for the first half of this game because of targeting penalties against Nebraska. Now one of these guys coming in, making a big play. 15th giveaway this year by the Bearcats.
Could be a double pass here. Herb Waters throwing back. And waiting on it down at the 6-yard line is Mark Walton.
Sudden change situation for
Take
Miami
shots.
offensively, and offensive coordinator James Coley decides a little trickeration.
You know what? That was a heck of a job by Walton.
Yeah, it was.
Heck of a job getting his hands underneath. But look, a lot of times when you're running down the field like this, you want to go score. Look at him coming back to the football, making sure he secured the catch first. Heck of a catch by the true freshman.
1st and goal for the Canes.
There's an example of Brad Kaya, CEO, at the line of scrimmage. There's a look he doesn't like defensively. Changed the entire play.
Just gets that play off. Walton, touchdown Miami. Sudden change, trick play, power run. Hello, Canes.
And give this touchdown to Miami's offensive line. You're going to see the surge that the left side of their O-line gets from the center all the way over this way. Watch these guys push in that direction and just start moving black jerseys. You get a double team at the point, you climb into the second level. I mean,
take the defensive tackle into the end zone.
Wow.
And Badgley closes it to a 1-point margin. Mark Walton involved on both of the big moments, including this. Canes right back in it. This is the start to a big college football weekend, and of course, Watch ESPN is the way to get all of it. You can download the app. You can go to watchespn.com and see every game streaming live. Jess, where are you this weekend?
We'll be going to College Station right down here. We got a big one in the SEC West. Looking forward to that.
I'm going to be here Saturday morning with SEC Nation. Talk about a big one.
Well, I'll be right here then.
I think we got a good weekend, the three of us ourselves.
It's a home game for you. That's right down the street.
Right down the road. I mean, Alabama at Georgia would have been a little better, but Joe stole that one and said it's mandatory that SEC Nation go there.
That's
so
what happens.
I got kicked off elsewhere.
That's what happens when you get those paychecks.
14-13 game here as Miami got the interception. Turnovers have been a big part of the success and a big part of the detriment of Cincinnati this year on the other side.
Yeah, and that's the entire, I think, theme to Cincinnati's season. It's been giveaways and killing themselves and not giving themselves a chance to win some of these games. They had 12 in the last 3 games up until that pick, which led to a Miami touchdown. Cincinnati could just stay out of their own way, make it so much easier on themselves. Obviously, ball security now at a premium for the Bearcats the remainder of this game.
That's also what Miami's defense has done so well this whole season. They're one of the best in the country, taking the football away and giving it back to Kai and company.
Second in the nation in turnover margin. And quickly this time, Max Morrison, who played a huge role, was incredible in that game at Memphis, had 9 catches for 162 yards and the late touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you know, we talked earlier about how they're losing 2 big playmakers in Johnny Holton and Chris Moore, but they've got other seniors like Max Morrison, like Shaq Washington and Mikhail McKay that can make plays themselves, and they're going to have to play well tonight.
Here's Williams. Boy, does he find a way right at the line of scrimmage to just get through.
I think it's patience. That's the thing that I appreciate watching Jose Williams run the football.
I've also seen the second efforts too. He's already done a great job tonight. He's hard to tackle. 5'9", 200 pounds.
Moore over to Morrison again as he crosses midfield. Remember, Miami is without Deion Bush and Jamal Carter. They're without 2 safeties because of targeting calls against Nebraska.
Well, and really, I think the bigger loss is this guy right here. Not just because of his production on the field, but the fact that he's an emotional leader on this defense. He brings a physicality to them that cranks everybody up. And I know killing him, a guy that loves to compete, I mean, both those guys, to have to miss out on a half of football, the best times of your life in college, that hurts, man.
Well, it hurts the whole defense too, though, because of communication in the back end. When you got a guy who's a senior that's seen everything, and you step in now with younger players, it makes a big difference.
Fun first quarter. Miami responded well. Cincy's offense, typical form. 14-13 game. Now this group has been chosen as the Taco Bell student section. You can go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to learn how to win a chance to join your school's student section at the College Football Playoff. Why the road fans at Cincinnati? Because starting guard Alex Gall from Miami is from this area. He has over 60 tickets here at Nippert. His sister is a freshman student here at Cincinnati. And the home team keeps surging offensively. Max Morrison.
Cincinnati early in this game really trying to stress the perimeter of the field and get guys the football in space and see if Miami can tackle them in the open field.
Another first down, still awaiting Cincinnati to take their first third down snap tonight. Here's Williams. Kept the legs going well again to the 39.
He keeps doing it, making it easy on his quarterback, making it easy on his offense. Every time he gets hit, he's falling forward for 2 or 3 yards.
Here's that up-tempo. Snapping at 29 on the play clock. Miami defense scattered that time. To the 31 goes Shaq Washington.
Yeah, that's a great call, Joe. The tempo for Cincinnati is wicked fast. And just watch all the confusion right here in the middle of the field. Guys are looking to the sideline to get the call from the coaching staff, and it's helter-skelter.
Good tempo again. And it was off the hand of Shaq Washington.
Well, when you play a no-huddle team like this, you better be able to communicate quickly. And everybody's looking to the sidelines. You can't have long calls. You can't have big signs. It needs to be quick in. Just get the call in. Everybody convey it right quickly so you can line up and play football. That's what the no-huddle's done. It's made everybody be simpler. You can't adjust and talk and communicate as much as you want to defensively.
Swinging it out that time, and the effort alone put Jose Williams down on the ground as defensive coordinator Mark D'Onofrio is trying to figure out how to deal with this, a loss of 3.
Well, and that big stop now gives Mark D'Onofrio an opportunity to sub on smaller guys, dime package, his best pass rushers. He's got on the field right now up front with McCord and Muhammad. Some of these guys that can get after the quarterback, they can bring a lot of heat exotic looks.
Will delay that time coming in with the pressure, and Moore slings it to the near side, and somehow it is caught right near the sticks that time was Shaq Washington. We'll see where they mark him here, but what an effort at the end of that play by Washington.
Tommy Tuberville compares Shaq Washington to Wes Welker, and it's a big comparison. But it's because of his ability as a little guy to work the middle of the field and find open spaces. I'm going to check that again and see if he actually caught that football, guys.
They have marked this just inside the 22, but if you look at his forward progress when he makes that catch, they may respot this here.
Well, when did he make it, though? Because the whole time he was falling, the ball was still moving around. Then you have to decide what hits the ground first, too.
Now, when does he have possession here, David?
Okay. Not yet. It's still moving around. Look at the ball. It's still back. And his elbow, his hand hits the ground out of bounds.
I think that was a good look there.
So I'm not even sure if that's going to be ruled a catch.
That's a good look there. As you see, it's still moving.
Yep. Still moving. Still moving. No possession. No possession. What hits the ground right there? If his hand hits the ground.
Well, keep in mind, his rear side is on the ground already. So if he can make firm possession prior to the hand.
It's where the ball is, though. So even if that is a catch, he's still about 2 yards short, I think, from that look that we just saw.
In terms of the spotting, let alone catch or no catch, because there could be two things they're looking at.
Yeah, that was a great play by Cincinnati. And Hayden Moore buying time to get that football off an accurate throw. And here's Washington. You see the ball just kind of juggling. Doesn't touch the ground.
But does he go out of bounds before he has possession? Consider that also. A couple things you could be looking for. Not just spotting the ball, but is it a catch to begin with?
Let's watch his hand. This will be probably the best angle because the defender's out of the way. Ball's coming around.
Still doesn't have possession.
There. Right there. Shoulders on the ground.
His shoulder is hitting the whited point, but you got to determine possession, no possession. Obviously, spotting the ball forward at this point is a moot point.
Did it look like he had possession? Because right there, it doesn't look like he has possession yet. Still. And then he grabs it. Looks like at the end.
And the call on the field was that it was a catch. So you need indisputable video evidence to overturn this.
This will show you possession here, David. Is the shoulder out of bounds by the time he has possession?
Still moving a little bit.
Jack Kramer is an ACC replay official looking at this. Initially, they were looking at the spot of the ball. As they worked their way through those replays, now they're looking at the mere fact of, is it a completion at all?
Yeah. To me, it looks like he doesn't have full possession until the shoulder hits the ground on the sidelines.
Have to have the indisputable video evidence to say that, because the ruling on the field is that it was a completion.
Right there, it moves a little bit right there. It shifts after he hits the ground. His fingertips still aren't on it, but we know they don't like to overturn themselves.
But that is a really good look that we gave them right there to try to determine whether or not it's complete or incomplete.
It's a heck of a catch.
He's had a heck of a night. Washington had the 69-yard punt return that was dynamic earlier tonight as well.
This time, obviously, is giving Cincinnati offensive coaches an opportunity to think about what do you do in either situation. If it's 4th and short, do you go for it, kick a field goal?
Ruling on the field is incomplete pass. The receiver bobbled the ball and did not maintain possession. It'll be 4th down on the 34-yard line on the right hash.
Well, they saw it the way Pollock saw it.
They're bringing their field goal team out onto the field. This will be a long, long field goal
but they got a talented guy to kick it.
Yeah, they sure do. This is a good call. No possession right there at that point.
Andrew Gantz, sensational sophomore kicker from Dayton, Ohio, is on to attempt a 51-yarder. Pre-game kicking in this direction, he was good from 53. 51-yard attempt for Gantz. How about that?
That was from 70.
I mean, did he just boot that or what? Leg talent supreme for Andrew Gantz. Who needs the completion? Just line it up and drive it home. 17-13 Bearcats. Andrew Gance's 51-yarder just put some well-targeted cash from Allstate through the good hands field goal nets, as Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. And to date, they've contributed millions in those scholarship funds, thanks to Allstate. 17-13 game here at Nippert. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, Kaylee Hartung with you to get your college football weekend started. I think this could be the defining weekend of the midseason with all the big games happening. We'll see how things play out between Alabama and Georgia and Clemson, Notre Dame. Saturday night prime time. Corn Elder from a yard inside the end zone. And Elder finds some space and tries to get free, and he does so out past the 30-yard line. Tonight's AT&T strong performance.
It's been good pass defense tonight so far for Cincinnati in a variety of ways, breaking on balls. Here's Zach Edwards at safety. They've also done a good job tackling in the open field. Here's Leviticus Payne, limiting the damage after the catch.
Great job with their eyes, reading the quarterback, sitting back in soft zones. Defensive lineman making the tip. Cincinnati's defense has struggled this season, but so far tonight it's been pretty good. A lot more coming. Like I promise you, Kai is going to keep throwing the football around the yard. They got to keep it up.
Kaya quickly gets it to Dobard. 260-pounder, tough to get down there at the 38-yard line.
You see a lot of these plays in college football where it's a simple read. The quarterback's going to stick it in the belly. It's going to be a run. Watch. What's the line up front? They're going to block. It could be a run. Pulls it out when he sees the backer come up. You see it so many times in college football. You just read one guy that makes it an easy read, an easy play.
2nd and 3, Yearby cuts back. Good move. Little jump stop. And past midfield is Joe Yearby.
Joe, you just mentioned cutting, and I think that's what makes Yearby special. He has the ability to change direction so quickly. Just L1, L1. and then he's got speed to get outside. They've got another one in Mark Walton, a true freshman that spells him.
They keep him in Miami.
Yeah, and they just stockpile these running backs.
Every year.
Kaya going to take a shot downfield and is able to connect as it's David Njoku, the redshirt freshman tight end, with a 40-yard reception, and Miami's racing down inside the 5.
A beautiful throw by Kaya, because watch all the air he puts under this throw to allow his receiver to adjust and make the difficult grab.
1st and goal. Yearby, and the flags come down as they were trying to get that play off.
Somebody moved up front.
Often the case with a lineman running 40 yards downfield to set up.
Never a good idea, is it?
False start. Number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the kid from Moeller High right here in town. Well, Alex Gall.
And it makes sense why they do it, Joe, because they don't want them to sub their goal line.
Yeah, they don't have goal line.
So you're trying to go as fast as you can so you can run the football against less big bodies. There's still going to be big bodies for Cincinnati, but so you try to go fast and sometimes you shoot yourself.
And it's the other big bodies that are the problem.
Yeah, the super jumbo bodies.
See what Miami's done in the red zone. 1st and goal now. Backed up 5. Yearby, well blocked, and then he drives it home. He just went right through Mike Tyson, and a flag is down again.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 27 on the defense. That's his first unsportsmanlike. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
You can actually watch left tackle Trevor Darling here collapse the entire side of the left line. Watch 73 block down this way and get tremendous movement. lock in, turn, slam, and that sets the hole up for a body at 6'5", 316, number 7, tackle prospect coming out of high school. Nice job by young Trevor Darling. This offensive line for Miami's looked good.
And that's the young part. That's when you looked at this offense, you're like, I don't know how great they can be with a young offensive line.
Second lead change tonight. Last week, Cincy was in a game that had 11 lead changes. Big play downfield to Njoku, and then Joe Yearby and the Canes showing their strength.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And State Farm, it pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
That's a Movements of Opera performance class at the Dieterle Vocal Arts Center, where you can look out right into Nippert Stadium. I think Pollock would have excelled on the Movements of Opera performance class. Of course, with the penalty, the kickoff coming from the 50-yard line.
Cincinnati's kicker could still kick a field goal from there. Plenty of leg.
Of course, that building you see in the distance, we just showed you, built in 1925, 10 years younger than Nippert Stadium, third oldest in major college football.
It's amazing.
A little vintage black and white
picture.
Very nice touch, boys. And into 2015 we return.
Uniforms are a little different nowadays.
Well, Miami is wearing their 305 ICE uniforms to represent the shoreline skyline of South Florida tonight. Speaking of representing, the offense keeps moving for Cincinnati. This is Tion Green.
We're seeing two pretty good running backs share the touches. We talk about how these guys sub themselves in and out, but they're both physical runners. You've seen Jose Williams get after it. There's Jermaine Grace down on the field in obvious pain.
He's the fastest guy on the team.
Yeah, he is.
Inside linebacker who runs a 4.3.
Man, oh man. Go back and take a look again. Look at number 5 on the right side of your screen. Kind of getting involved in the play a little bit late, and just looks like he got rolled up on.
Those are the worst ones in your player. There's nothing you can do. You can't see it coming. You can't defend yourself.
And remember, Miami's already depleted at the linebacker position, guys. Marcus Gayot out with a neck injury. Darian Owens they lost against Florida Atlantic with a knee. And Jermaine Grace, certainly not someone with his ability, his leadership, that they can afford to lose in that level of defense.
And of course that group replacing Denzel Perryman from last year, who was an all-timer at Miami. Hey, Saturday Night Football is presented by Wells Fargo. Notre Dame Clemson is Saturday at 8 on ABC. I mean, Notre Dame has been scoring like crazy, 30 or more points in their first 4 games. CJ Prosise, outstanding running back, already 600 rush yards this year.
It's the most rushing yards by a Notre Dame running back in the first 4 games of the season. I'm excited to see Kaiser. This is his first start on the road. If you've ever been to Memorial Stadium, you know that is no joke. And Kaiser came in the game late on the road at Virginia, threw a touchdown pass to Fuller, and that's great. But that front 7 for Clemson, even after losing all that NFL talent a year ago, they can get after Kaiser.
And that secondary is dirty. That secondary is the best they've had under Dabo, but in that atmosphere, you're right, it's going to be rocky. You know what's good about Notre Dame, though, in that quarterback situation? They're really good all around him. There's very little inexperience besides
Stanley blocking up front.
Oh, yeah, besides that quarterback spot. So it'll be a good one. Maybe an elimination game for the playoffs. You know, both those two teams.
It feels that way this Saturday, that we could have a Saturday that starts really defining the college football playoff race.
Well, we're getting the awesome, preseason out of the way for a lot of the teams that don't play anybody. And now we're starting to get to the meat of the schedule, which will be easier to judge team by team, compare them to certain teams. And
2nd and 5. Moore finds the open man, and once again it's Shaq Washington. Great first half out of Washington. Sanders Green spinning for maybe 2.5 yards. Of course, Hayden Moore in because Gunnar Keel injured again last week, left the game with what they term a neck injury. Now, Coach Tuberville confirmed that he was unconscious in that game. It was a scary scene. Was secured by the medical staff, brought to the hospital, but was then cleared, returned home with the team that night, and everybody was thrilled with that.
Miami calling a timeout.
Miami, that's their first timeout.
So a timeout used by Miami. This is what happened last week, Jess, when we were down in Memphis.
Yeah, it was a scary moment. And Gunnar Keel going down, giving himself up in a slide. He was not defenseless. Contact was not made with the crown of the helmet. Therefore, it was not targeting. But a very, very scary moment, as you noticed. And our own Kaylee Hartung did an unbelievable job following him to the hospital, giving us reports and making sure we were all up to date on that. It's good news and happy, obviously, for him and his family that he was okay.
Hayden Moore passed for 557 yards. You saw some early success here. Yet Coach Tuberville says players don't lose their job based on injury. How does this eventually play out?
Well, let's see the rest of this game, too. Let's see how he does, obviously. But that's a big thing of players. I mean, if you lose your job because you're injured, you telling me I earned it, and then all of a sudden somebody steps in, I lose my job. I think players, it rubs them the wrong way sometimes. And you can lose a locker room because of that. So I think either way, you make whoever earns it. But Hayden Moore obviously doing a good job of showing that he's more than capable of doing the job.
Here he is trying to continue on that job. Incomplete.
I think the issue, though, guys, with Gunnar Keel is that he gets injured a lot.
Yeah.
Last year, he didn't finish 5 games. He's already been knocked out of 2 this season. And while I think sometimes you look at how a player shouldn't lose their job due to injury, if they get injured all the time, though, and you need to build continuity and consistency, and the guy behind him is playing at a very, very high level, then at what point do you make the decision? It's going to be a very difficult one for Tommy Tuberville, especially, and offensive coordinator Eddie Grant, you see right there, especially if Hayden Moore keeps playing at the level that he's playing at.
Well, and the quarterback spot's not a spot where you can miss a lot of time and stay sharp and stay on page. And you got new receivers in here because of injuries. You got to develop chemistry and timing, and Moore's getting all the reps. I understand that, but you know how players feel about injuries and losing your job and what that can mean for a locker room dynamic. It's a tough situation to handle.
3rd down and 8 now. A-gap pressure, and they set up the screen, and that was eaten up right away by Kirby.
And they set it up perfect. They got exactly what they wanted. 3rd and long is a big situation. Remember, all the defensive linemen, what are you doing? You're pinning your ears back, trying to get after the quarterback. Kirby was there, right there at the middle of your screen. Watch everybody fly in there. Try to get after the quarterback. You bring pressure. Kirby does a great job. He's got man-to-man coverage on that back. Beats the offensive lineman, slips by and makes a big-time play. Otherwise, that's a 1st down.
Sam Geraci on for his first punt of the night, and it is a low punt that goes out of bounds, and we will see where they mark this. Right at about the 19-yard line is where Miami will take over.
In the backfield, on the kicking team, the 5 yards will be added on to the end of the kick. Down.
Coach Tuberville looks on, trailing by 3 here in the 2nd quarter. Reminder that after we wrap up, you got SportsCenter deep into the night. Steve Levy and John Anderson are going to handle all the post-game wrap-up, break down the Steelers' first game without Big Ben. It's SportsCenter at night after Miami and Cincinnati.
Really, with the exception of a punt on their 2nd drive, they haven't been held off the scoreboard yet. Brad Kai has just made good, quick decisions. They've had good balance. They've had some success in the running game as well with Yerby.
There's Yerby again.
Tell you what, Cincinnati's speed is held up, though. Yeah. Running sideline to sideline, different plays. You saw Payne do it. You saw Edwards do it. Right there, you saw Minor do it. Good job. Obviously, Miami's got a lot of speed. They've been staying with him in man coverage and being able to run across the field with their guys.
2nd and 9. Trying to cut back again, this time out close to the 30-yard line. Tackled by Wilson.
We talk about Kai at the line of scrimmage. Does a good job right here. Hey, when he reads your mail and sees you're bringing a backer right up in that gap, Eric Wilson, number 23, comes up. You can tell he's going to blitz right here. Kaya sees it. When he reads the mail, you better change the address. Runs right away from it. Still a good play, but it's a good job of Kaya seeing what the defense is trying to get accomplished to him and adjusting. Especially for a young cat. He's only a sophomore.
3rd and 4. Kaya going to try to run it himself. Ball came out at the end there as Tongamoa was getting after him, and there's a fight for the ball. And I believe he may have been down.
4th down.
And they are saying indeed it is 4th down.
Nice effort by Tongamoa here, just wrapping up Kaya. You see, yeah, elbow hits down. Ground cannot cause a fumble. Comes out late. Nice job hustling up front. It's Miami now forced to punt.
Remember, Shaq Washington is back on the return. Had that sensational 69-yarder on what was a good punt by Justin Vogel. He put that up there with nearly a 5.0 hang time when Washington had that punt. Another big boot. Look at him turn this thing over. Vogel got all of it. I mean, crushed it. And it's inside the 5. Phenomenal effort from Justin Vogel.
Get excited,
62-yard punt.
Conversations ongoing with the Miami training staff and their inside linebacker Jermaine Grace as he fights to try to get back on the field. His right ankle was rolled up on. They've taped it up. He's fought through clear discomfort, but we don't yet know if he'll be taking the field with the defense this series.
And Kaylee, as we've talked about all week in preparation for this game, they are thinned out in that spot. Cincinnati pinned inside their 5. Hayden Moore better be careful there. Waiting on it, but unable to keep the feet in, Shaq Washington.
I'm just going to say, I was wondering when Cincinnati was going to try and take a shot down the field against some of these backup safeties and take advantage of guys like Deion Bush being out of the game. And you see right there, it's almost like fielding a punt and just couldn't get those toes inbound. Just wonder, though, in the slot, somewhere, if they take a shot in here deep down the field.
Great time to do that in your own end zone, too.
That was an awkward mesh point there as Williams gets it out to the 7-yard line.
Well, how about Hayden Moore holding on to that football, too?
Yeah. Doesn't help.
I think everybody,
exchange was a little awkward.
Everybody at Nippert Stadium on that first play was like, throw it, throw it, throw it, don't hold it. Now backed up again on your own end. Your offense has struggled. You don't want to force anything, either if you're Hayden Moore here. Can't make one of those mistakes trying to make a play.
His best 3rd down target, Shaq Washington, not on the field right now for Cincinnati.
3rd and 8. Let me find some breathing room here. Move the chains. Incomplete. He was looking for Chisholm. So now that 62-yard punt from Vogel is going to force Cincinnati, after Miami defense did their job, to be punting from their end zone.
You got a dangerous guy now returning this punt. Corn Elder, the guy that just broke that pass up, he's got ridiculous speed himself. We talk about all the athletes on Miami. This guy might be the best.
Cincinnati's first 3 and out of the night. Corn Elder is going to have a real chance here. This is end over end. Short, and takes a side bounce and runs out inside the 40.
As excited as you just got for the Miami punt, Joe?
Yeah, that was
the air
disappointing.
The air just came out of you, Joe Tessitore.
Disappointing,
to say the least. 31-yarder from Geraci. So they flip the field, play some good defense. That guy helped them out, and now a chance here before the half to add to this lead.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, how about Miami's defense depleted at linebacker, depleted right now in the first half at safety, and yet an offense that's putting up 622 yards a game right now held to only 17 points. And only 163 total yards so far.
Kaya with a big opportunity here. and he's going to take a shot at it. And that is Brady.
Wow.
How about that? Stayed with it and corralled it inside the 2-yard line.
If he caught this is going to be on SportsCenter top 10 because he's a big dude, 6'3", lays out, tips it. Did he regain it though?
Yeah, he did. It looked like it.
Wow. Does he have control though on the turf there?
So. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Wow.
Ruling on the field is catch. Previous play is under review.
So Jack Kramer, the ACC replay official, is going to have some more work to do. We're going to take a short break, come back, see if they overturn this. That effort by Tyree Brady. A call was reversed. They're saying it was incomplete.
Yeah, the ball's allowed to touch the ground, but the receiver has to have full possession and maintain complete control throughout the entire process. You see right there the football dragging on the turf. That certainly helped him secure possession, and it's a good overturn.
So both of our reviews tonight have overturned rulings on the field. Leaves it 2nd and 10 now for Miami.
More CEO Brad Kaya here. Changing the play, re-pointing out the Mike linebacker.
Here's Walton.
Just can't speak enough about the concepts that Brad Kaya has a grasp of as only a 20-year-old true sophomore. I mean, James Coley and this offensive coordinator, I mean, they put a lot on his plate when it comes to protections and changing plays from a passing play to a running play and helping the offensive linemen establish their protections up front. Brad Kaya's football IQ, not that of a normal 20-year-old.
That helps in spots like this. 3rd and 6. Nipper crowd getting loud. Through the hands that time, incomplete as he was trying to find Brady again.
And that was another catchable ball. Just dropped.
Now remember, they've got a kicker in Michael Badgley who's very confident, and from this distance, he'll want to crack. Not a lot of college football teams that have kickers that can attempt from this range. Both of these teams feel just fine.
No, Cincinnati had a 51-yarder made. Now this a 51-yard attempt from Badgley. And he's just off the mark. Hit from 41 and 47 earlier. Couldn't connect from 51. And it stays 20-17.
And that looked like that would have been good from 70.
Yeah.
I mean, had it just gone through the uprights, obviously, but it started right down the pipe, and then at the last second, it just that kind of that slice action.
Plenty of leg, though.
No,
we got great legs out here tonight.
That's almost over top of the goalpost from 51.
Tommy Tuberville excited for the hold there. Remember, Miami had phenomenal field position. So now 5.5 minutes to go in this first half. And Cincinnati back with the ball. Moore. Downfield to midfield to Shaq Washington.
Woo. Watch how fast Cincinnati now getting to the line of scrimmage, trying to get the next play called, see if they can get Miami's defense miss the line.
Pressure off the edge. Williams now cuts back against the grain and gets it to the 42. It'll be 2nd and 2 from there, tackled by Norton.
This is only Hayden Moore's real 3rd game of experience. Nice job there, though, seeing the blitz off the edge and knowing where his answer was. Nice little check down throw to the running back.
2nd and 2, Williams. It was clogged up right at the line of scrimmage that time. As Muhammad and Howard getting in on the tackle.
The thing I like about Moore is, I know he's made a few mistakes as well, but he's very decisive. Even when you get the ball out in the flat to your running back, he gave it to him so quick that he could see the guy coming at him and making his cut. Makes quick decisions. Moore
checks over on the sideline on 3rd and 1. Three-man front, slanted nose for Miami. Linebackers try to close, but they couldn't in time for Williams to pick up the first down. That was a missed tackle by Grace, who's back in the game.
You see there, the running backs subbing each other out. It's Jose Williams saying, hey, you know what, all right, I just got the first. Tion Green,
go for it.
Your turn.
Look at how fast Cincinnati is going at times. We will show you the time between plays. This a little longer. They have snapped at 30 earlier tonight on the play clock.
As you see, it's multi-tempo too. It's not just always fast. There's different speeds they go at. Try to give themselves an advantage.
Green on first down.
Well, another thing that makes it tough, if you saw that to start the play, so they go so fast, they line up, they send the guy in motion. Well, what does that do? It shows you what coverage I'm in. If I'm in man coverage, I'm gonna be going in motion with that guy. Then you line up and you go, okay, I got zone. I know exactly what I want. We want to run the football right up the middle. So that multi-tempo messes with the defense's ability to adjust and change.
Moore on 2nd and 8. Complete to Washington. It'll be 1st and goal. He does it again.
You asked for it, Palmer. You said, when are they going to take shots down the field? You don't think it's going to go to the 5'9" Washington, but what a catch. Contested catch. Let's see where the ball is. Make sure it's not moving around. We've had about 30 of those tonight already.
And that's good coverage too, David, by Tracy Howard. They had a corner in the slot, man-to-man, one-on-one, and Shaq Washington now, he's already been targeted 10 times by Hayden Moore early in this game. A lot of Johnny Holton, Chris Moore, some other big-time receivers out, so they're relying on number 19 to carry the slack.
Here's Green as he tries to stretch out, and he's short of the goal line.
They've not been a very good running team down here close to the goal line. This is a place they like to use quarterback runs. So you're going to a quick huddle, trying to get this ball snapped.
Look at Green as the up back here.
Yeah.
As he gives that look, he's going to give an extra push to Hayden Moore. And it's a touchdown for the Bearcats as Cincinnati retakes the lead.
With two offenses as potent as these, you just get the idea that small mistakes could be the difference. And remember, on the very last drive, there was a dropped long pass by Tyre Brady. It was going to be a difficult catch. It ended up being incomplete. Cincinnati's defense held, gave the football back to Hayden Moore, and there's the payoff. Another lead change.
Fun first half, 24-20. You know, every week we get together. Of course, the College Football Selection Committee has their work to do come midseason, but this Thursday night crew, everybody gets together and we put forth, if the playoffs were to be today, if you had to pick the who's in for, who would it be? And we tallied all of our ballots, and this is what we came up with. Ole Miss, the unquestioned number one, Michigan State the 2 slot. Utah so impressive with the win at Oregon. Now, by the way, that Michigan win looks pretty good too right now.
And that's the beauty thing about college football, guys, is it always changes. The picture always changes. You didn't think Michigan was that good of a team early because you didn't know how good Utah was. But I think a lot of what you're seeing in our top 4 and seeing around the country too, how good do you think Oregon really is? I think that goes a long way in determining where you rank Utah and Michigan State right now. Of course, 2 teams that beat them, and the picture is just constantly evolving the more college football we see.
Yeah, and we're going to see how Oregon does, because it was also a 3-point win for Michigan State. Utah at home, and it was a drubbing by Utah. So it is. And Ohio State, look at Ohio State at 4. I mean, we got them at 4 because they haven't played great, and they haven't played great competition. So it's kind of, what have you done against bad competition? And they've struggled. So it's one thing to embarrass bad competition. It's another thing to struggle with bad competition.
Continue that conversation in a moment. First, to check in with Adnan.
We wait with bated breath. Joe, coming up in the Land Rover halftime report, halftime pick'em. Joey Galloway and Danny Cannell on 4 of the biggest games of the weekend, including what's going to happen in Athens with Bama as an underdog. Also, I know Jesse knows that Canada's team has clinched the AL East, but the Yankees, with the win against the Red Sox, will also join them in the playoffs. On the wild card picture coming up. Joe, back to you.
Thank you, Adnan. Look forward to that. Land Rover halftime report. 2:17 remaining. Miami 2 timeouts left, trailing by 4. Joe Yerby struggling to find much room there. To get back to the Ohio State conversation, you saw them number 4 in our playoff seeding right now. Listen, that's how the committee works. It's the body of work to this point. You look at Ole Miss, they got the signature win against Alabama and the way they've looked against everybody. You look at Michigan State and what they've accomplished so far. Utah, to me it's Utah and Ole Miss when you say body of work so far. Yeah. Undoubtedly, to me, those are the 1-2. Ohio State, you can't make that same argument. Kaya. That was fought for the ball. It's incomplete that time as Edwards was fighting for it, but he was out of bounds with Tyree Brady.
Yeah, Zach Edwards, a guy that we talk about doing a good job reading quarterback's eyes and getting himself involved in breaking on this football. Just a struggle at the point of attack.
And then ripping it out. How about that?
Tyree Brady here, he's been involved in a couple of close catches these last 2 drives. Hasn't yet been able to come up with one. And pass defense again for Cincinnati. They're competing. Now a big 3rd and 10. Where is the pass rush? Silverberry Muhan, number 92. He's the best they've got up front. This is a guy that needs to show up.
3rd down and 10. Kaya. Short of the line to make that time as he looked to Brady again.
Huge for Cincinnati.
Kevin Brown, nice defensively there.
To get this stop now, guys. There's about a minute and a half left. They're going to use one of their timeouts right now. They still got 2 in their back pocket with an opportunity to get more points here before the end of the half. And Cincinnati, if I remember correctly, they're going to get the ball first in the second half.
Yeah, and you talked about Muhan, and this is something that's misunderstood about pass rushers and sacks. Everybody looks at sacks. Watch him right here at the bottom of your screen. He still affects the quarterback. He doesn't get the sack, but does a good job coming upfield. Look what he does to the offensive tackle. He walks him back, makes Kaya step up, and makes him make a quick decision. So it's not always about those sack numbers. It's about affecting the quarterback and making him step up in the pocket, do something he doesn't want to do yet.
It's a great opportunity for Cincinnati. 1:27 left. That is unless Justin Vogel can strike one of those meatballs he kicks again. Went 62 yards last time.
Meatballs.
Shaq Washington, dangerous return man. Oh, motion up front as the protection unit started to shift.
You know, Cincinnati offensively, they don't need a lot of help to move the football.
No, they don't.
So you just give them extra real estate. Penalties, remember, Al Golden said it in the locker room before the game. Got to play smart.
Offsides, defense, number 2 in the neutral zone.
Wow.
5-yard penalty.
We'll go the other way.
Must have been lined up there. He's not lined up in the neutral zone, number 2. He flinched
there. The neutral zone
but you know what, though? He still didn't go into the neutral zone even when he flinched. That's one of the things refs look for sometime, or they see movement, but he still got to cross the plane of where the ball's at, and he did.
Spoken like a true D lineman.
That meatball, Joe Tess.
Here's Washington with the fair catch at the 20, so that's where Cincinnati will start from. On a really nice night here in town, as aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Whether you drive 100 yards or 100 miles, choose Goodyear tires for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven.
We saw Cincinnati on that last drive finally take a shot down the field. They hit Shaq Washington on a big play. A minute and 20 seconds for this offense at their tempo with 2 timeouts is an eternity. But it'd be interesting to see. This is the last drive they're going to have Deion Bush and Jamal Carter on the sidelines in this game. So if I was offensive coordinator Eddie Grant, I might be thinking about being aggressive and taking a chance.
Green tackled just short of the 25 by Thomas. 2 timeouts remain. Just over a minute to play in this really entertaining first half. Cincinnati knows nothing but entertaining halves of football. Moore. And this time able to find McKay. And that's a first down.
Miami right now in this 2-minute situation, they're still playing bump and run man-to-man coverage. And you've got Mikhail McKay at 6'5". You might think about giving him a jump ball down the sideline. See if he can high point a football over top of a shorter corner.
Clock restarts after that temporary stoppage, keep in mind. Moore going to run it himself. And he was taken down close to the 40-yard line. See how they manage the clock now. Get a timeout here.
Yep. I know he saw blitz and wanted to take off because he had a big hole, but that's one of those you learn as you go too, is you either try to make a play down the field or throw the ball away. You can't, I know he got positive yards, but you can't, the clock right now is your enemy. That's what you got to save. You got to save time, so he's got to throw that one away, get rid of it.
So guys, what's your thought process if you're Hayden Moore right now? You're looking at this kicker, this guy.
He can kick it from 70.
So what yard line do you have to get to? Normally I'd say, hey, try to get us in between the 30 and the 35.
This is
give us an opportunity. Here's the 51-yarder.
Look at how much he had left on this.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's really a luxury as a quarterback now, because I know I've got Del Greco back there, whoever, Morton Anderson, whoever you want to say. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to work as hard. I don't have to be, forcing a football as much. If I just know if we cross into Miami's territory, we got a chance.
During fall camp, Tuberville took Andrew Gantz, and they said whole team is going to run sprints if you don't make this. It was a 58-yarder. They weren't running.
I love when coaches do that in practice, by the way, because it forces some kind of pressure on the kickers, because kickers are always off to the side anyways,
and linemen don't like running gassers.
No, we don't want to run for anybody, more or less a kicker.
2nd and 3 now. Here's Moore. Downfield, open is Morrison, and Cincinnati is well within range, and they're going to be looking for 7 here. 32 seconds remain.
Max Morrison had 2 of those in the 4th quarter last week against Memphis. Just watch him work the seam. Runs right by the safety, Dallas Crawford. Talk about take a shot now while you got Deion Bush and Jamal Carter on the bench. Good play call by Eddie Grant.
Still a timeout remains. And here they swing it over to Morrison, who smartly gets out. 12 seconds remain now.
And talk about bad defense. I mean, the clock's your friend. You're not taught to sit on anything. Dallas Crawford comes running up on that route. You're taught to stay deep. Make sure everything stays in front of you. Make the tackle. Let that clock tick away. Now Cincinnati with an opportunity. Who are you going to? Shaq Washington so far has been the go-to guy. I know he's only 5'9", but they're not afraid to throw him a jump ball. He's down at the bottom of the screen.
Can Cincinnati finish up this first half with something big? Flag is down as the count
timeout
is down to 4, but we will check on the flag.
Offsides. Defense. Number 8. That penalty's declined. First down.
Now you bring the field goal unit on right now. 4 seconds to go.
It's not quite a 51-yarder, though.
No, listen, that's a win.
I was hoping for a 70-yarder to end the half. That would have been great.
How about that? Get a chance to make this a touchdown game, go into the locker room, then get the ball back first in the second half. That's a good job managing the 2-minute situation by Hayden Moore in a drive that started way back in their own end. He continues to impress. He's looked really good.
Does, doesn't he?
5 quarters, the last 5 quarters of football he's played, he's looked like an All-American.
Hayden Moore is 18 of 24, over 200 yards. Had the touchdown pass earlier tonight. As you said, if you watched him the week before the Memphis game, if I told you over the course of the next 5 quarters he would be this?
Yeah, when Gunnar Kiel went down against Memphis, I think there were a lot of Cincinnati fans that said, oh no, game's over. And then this guy just showed up, and he looked like John Elway. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you see tonight, he's been accurate. He's done a good job buying time. Hasn't always been perfect through this pick early in the game that ended up being big.
By the way, David, he's from Clay, Alabama. Last week when I was down in SEC country after that wild Thursday nighter, I heard a lot of people say, how'd he get away from us? He's playing in the American Conference, balling. High school player from Alabama. As Gantz is just money. 26-yarder is good. 27-20. Cincy rallies back. They are fun to watch. We will hear from Coach Golden. I'll be with Kaylee in a moment, but first, send you back to the Land Rover halftime report. Adnan and the guys take it away. Glad you're with us watching the American Conference on ESPN. And it's a team that's 0-2 in the American Conference, ahead of an ACC team, as Cincinnati leads Miami 27-20. 2 touchdowns responsible for is Hayden Moore, who's been the talk about in recent weeks. Tonight's playbook is brought to you by Fairfield Inn & Suites.
Yeah, Hayden Moore proving that Memphis, that wasn't a fluke last week. He's come out on fire. He's gotten rid of the football quickly. He's known when to hold on to it, like on that touchdown pass to McHale. And in the second quarter, we saw his accuracy throwing the football further down the field.
And Shaq Washington's been his playmakers. He's missing a couple wide receivers tonight, no problem. Punt return game, you see him, the little man makes big plays, makes people miss, uses his speed, sets up a touchdown, and then at the end of the half, making a big play, making a big catch, contested catch. Made a couple contested catches, even though he's only 5'9", helping out his quarterback.
Moore completed his last 6 passes, and Cincinnati will be on offense to start this second half as John Semarine will be kicking away for Miami. I told you Miami's won 11 straight in this series against Cincinnati. A line drive that bounces and goes into the end zone, so that worked out well for the Hurricanes. Moments ago, Kaylee with Tommy Tuberville.
Well, Tess, look for Cincinnati to continue running the ball. Tommy Tuberville told me he feels like their run game has gotten a rhythm. Now, he did say while missed tackles have frustrated him through the early part of the season, what they've got to do is stop Miami's running game. He said, we've just got to tackle 1 and 2. That would be Walton and Yerby.
Thanks, Kaylee. Coach Tuberville would love to reel in this. A win over Miami at home. As they start on the ground, and just a gain of 1 that time. As Deion Bush is back in, missed the first half of this game after being ejected against Nebraska for targeting. So Carter and Bush able to play again.
That guy brings a physical dimension to this defense versus the run game and in coverage.
Moore trying to extend here, and that was batted right back in his face that time. That was a good play by Chad Thomas.
Like, one thing Hayden Moore's got to keep his eye on now is just decision making. Remember, turnovers have been the Achilles heel for the Cincinnati offense all season long. Interception early in the game led to 7 points for Miami. You cannot spot good offensive teams free scores. So no turnovers in the second half to give yourself your best chance of winning this game.
Miami defense looking for a quick 3 and out to open up this second half. And that hit the ground before it could get to Shaq Washington, so they did their job.
Had a couple guys wide open, Hayden Moore did on that play. Again, Miami not forcing much pressure, but watch him. You could see underneath. He had a couple options right underneath. You see, he obviously hit his running back there. Also have his receiving Wiggins on the outside. So whether he hit Jose Williams or Shaq Washington, probably could have got the first.
Geraci's punt takes a good bounce, fielded by Corn Elder, and he can't escape the coverage. Reminder that College Game Day will be live from Clemson. Built by the Home Depot is going to get you set at 9 a.m. as Notre Dame comes to town. Game Day is also going to focus in on Ole Miss quarterback Chad Kelly. You know his backstory. He started his career at Clemson, got himself into some trouble, went the JUCO route, lands at Ole Miss.
Now he's got a challenge. Yeah, he's got a challenge this weekend on the road in the Swamp against one of the best secondaries in the entire country, led by Vernon Hargraves at corner.
As Miami will get going this time with Joe Yerby.
We just heard Kaylee say it. Cincinnati's had issues tackling these Miami running backs. You see there's a Miami player down on the ground. That's wide receiver Herb Waters.
That looked bad too.
Yeah, we really haven't heard a lot from him early in this game. And see, he was out here on the perimeter blocking Leviticus Payne. He just kind of gets wrapped up. Oh, the action
now he
comes
gets
in
rolled
right
up on from behind.
Man, oh man.
You know, and Herb Waters is such a big part of what they want to do out on the perimeter.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, I think it's a guy they can't afford to miss. In my opinion, through the first 3 games, he's been their best deep threat. He's been providing the most explosive plays down the field. And we haven't heard his name called a lot. We also haven't heard Rashawn Scott's name called a lot. Number 11, another receiver, which puts now a lot of more pressure. These guys got to step up and make plays and help out.
Already without Stacy Coley as well, Jesse, who's one of their faster receivers. Another weapon for Brad Kaya.
We talk about him being a CEO quarterback and the decisions that he's making at the line of scrimmage. He's in full control. You see, he does a really good job of getting an early hard count. Tries to get the defense to declare what defense they're going to be in, and it gives them an opportunity then to find a successful play here. Looking out to the receiver, moving guys around. You come in the backfield, you change this protection. This guy's the new Mike linebacker. No, Scott, you go back outside wide. We're going to run this football to the left. It's going to be a walk-in for Walton. It's like, it's not Peyton Manning-esque, but it's very, very close. He's doing his best impersonation, and again, just impressive for a true sophomore. He's only 20 years old.
Well, Herb Waters able to walk off the field, now lightly jog off the field, so that's a good sign after that last play. Braxton Berrios comes into the game. He's going to be in the slot at the top of your screen. 2nd and 2 with Yerby at running back flanking Kaya. And Yerby looking for an opportunity and trying to slither his way close to that line to make. It was Alex Pace and Fitz with the tackle.
I don't think this was a very clean exchange, and I think it kind of slowed down Yerby a little bit, fermented the momentum. It's just a zone read. You see here, just kind of
didn't stick it in.
Yeah, little bobble.
Put it right on his hip instead of getting it into the belly there.
Got it to the side of him.
3rd and short. Haven't had a lot of success on the 3rd down conversions. And a tackle for loss. Alex Pace just blew that up. Big man came in.
That's a grown man. Watch number 99 blow this up. Look at him on the inside right here. Watch Pace. This is how you do work right here. Gets off the ball quick, low, and takes the offensive lineman back and say, Yerby, take a seat.
I think
he just throws Alex Gall into the backfield.
I think that's been the strength of Cincinnati's defense all year. The interior defensive line play has been stellar. They're hard to run against inside.
Alex Gall's 320 almost.
Short punt that does take a Miami roll inside the 20. Big defensive play from Alex Pace, a tough kid from Cleveland, throwing around Miami's Cincinnati guy. Now that's a Taco Bell student section. You can go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to learn how to win a chance to join your school's student section at the college football playoff. They were filling in that end zone area early at Nipper tonight. Miami's in town. A little prime time here in Cincinnati. Aiden Moore. No chance of getting to that corner against that Miami defense as Young tracked him down.
You see Jamal Carter now, the other safety who is suspended for the first half of this game for targeting against Nebraska. He's now into the game as well. So Miami rotating both Bush and Carter, giving him a series each here, let him get in the flow of this game.
What's the matter? Bush. If Mondale and Reagan weren't available?
Bush and Carter.
Second and 11. And wrapped up by Kamalu.
Great coverage by Miami. Nowhere to go for Hayden Moore on this play. You're going to see you got a corner route here. It's not there. You got a flat route here. Everybody is blanketed. Where do you go with this football if you're Hayden Moore?
We talked about his decision making. Sometimes he makes the wrong one. That's the right one there to take off and run with it.
TFLs for a loss of a yard. 3rd and 12 now. And I think his throw was affected that time with the pressure on him.
Or by the ref. Whichever one you prefer. That was great coverage underneath by the zebra.
2 3-and-outs by Cincinnati here in this second half. Whistles blow as Geraci is trying to get this punt away.
False start. Number 20 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Remember, this is dangerous. You've got Cornelder returning this punt. He took a 72-yard punt return for a score against Bethune-Cookman early in the year, and then he had a 70-yarder taken back for a score. Got called back because of a penalty. So you're always very wary of the athleticism and the speed of number 29.
Rugby-style line drive fielded at midfield by Cornelder. Can he pick up a block? That looked really easy, didn't it? Cornelder, touchdown Canes, and a flag is down back at the 32-yard line. This could be coming back.
During the return, holding number 4 on the return team. 10 yards, he spotted the foul. 1st down.
There's Jaquan Johnson.
It's the second time this year Cornelder has had a punt return touchdown called back because of a penalty. That low line drive kick was exactly what he was hoping for in his ability to scoop it up. You see him set the wall up. It's right up here. Just wrestling. He's grabbed him by the jersey.
That's a hold to you?
That wasn't as blatant I think you might have expected.
I like the way you put that. That wasn't as blatant as you might have expected.
Was
it a hold?
Well, it's like that's my Canadian diplomatic answer for you. We do a good job sometimes.
So was it a hold?
Very kind people you are.
Yeah. We just try to keep it right down the aisle. I'm going to keep ignoring Pollock. And just
Also, it looked like he may have stepped out there inside the 5. So Kaya sets up camp at the 43 now. How about a shot right here? And a flag is down as Herb Waters was interfered with.
It's another thing I think Kaya does really well is he finds the one-on-one matchups, puts air underneath the football for his guys to make a play. Herb Waters is apparently okay too, which is good to see because he got folded up and puts air underneath it. He's coming back to it. There's no doubt about it.
32 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
And it's a good idea by Miami to start taking shots in the perimeter. Herb Waters is your best deep threat. He was silent in the first half. Be a little bit more aggressive and really challenge these Cincinnati cornerbacks on the perimeter. You can do more of that. We got to get Rashawn Scott involved in the game also if I'm James Coley, the offensive coordinator for Miami.
Good surge against Yearby that time, as it was Gilbert coming in from that safety position.
This is a defense that made wholesale changes. Last week, 5 new starters in their game against Memphis. Tommy Tuberville wasn't pleased with the performance, so he inserted a couple true freshmen in the starting lineup at middle linebacker Bryce Jenkinson and safety Malik Clements, knowing young guys might make mistakes, but they're not getting better sitting on the bench. You can see the athleticism of this D.
2nd and 10. Kaya overthrows Waters.
Another critical pass rush situation for Cincinnati. Right now, Miami kind of on the fringe area in field goal range. And Cincinnati coming in with a mass substitution.
Have you seen their kicker?
Yeah, anyways, you got to just
fringe?
As long as you're inside the stadium with the 2 kickers,
fringe. They're well in field goal range already.
So let's get that pass rush dialed up if you're Cincinnati. We talked about Silverberry Muhan. He's down here. He was able to affect Brad Kaya on a pass rush at the end of the half.
3rd down and 10. As Cincinnati backs off, only brings 3 against Brad Kaya, but 3's good enough. That was Sione Tangamoa with a big play for the Bearcats.
Talked about the strength of this defense being the interior of the defensive line, and watch Tangamoa split the double team right in the middle. It's just raw push. Safety, guard help.
Look at the rip. See him rip his arm up underneath?
David Pollock-esque.
That's a big boy. They got some big boys up there. Tangamoa, you see Broughton, you saw Pace last series. Take him back, and he took a sack, and he's still well in field goal range, Palmer.
This is a chip shot.
52-yarder for Badgley.
Nope.
He didn't strike that as well as the others we've seen tonight. Came across his body a bit, sailed off to the left. Big sack by Tongamoa. Cincinnati defense does a little damage here in the third quarter. Still a touchdown margin for the home team.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA, and Levi's. Gear up, game on.
Guys, the great tradition of Cincinnati band wipeouts continued earlier today. Remember a few years ago, we had the trumpet player. Tonight it was the sax that went down. But my man got up. I mean, he got up and stayed with it, Jess.
Shaking his head.
Are you saying he got off the canvas, Joe?
He's looking good. The
He's got
teeth
a
are
smile.
intact. I don't know, maybe he was wearing a mouth guard, but the teeth are still intact
He's got
there.
good looking teeth. He was checking his heart. His heart a second ago. I've been there, man.
Sachs went down, and so does Hayden Moore here. As Trent Harris, Toolbox Trent they call him.
Got to see more of this from Miami in the second half. They didn't really have a great pass rush in the first, but they got so many long athletes that have the ability to rush the passer, and you're just getting a big 251-pound body isolated against the smaller running back. Yeah, just bull rush right in. More pass rush from the Hurricanes here in the second half. It's key.
2nd and 18. What happened to all that offense we had in the
lying.
first half with Cincinnati? Good tackle by Kirby.
Been a great job so far. The secondaries have really picked up their game. Not giving the quarterback anywhere to throw the football.
Talking about that pass rush now, defensive coordinator Mark D'Onofrio subs in Tyreek McCord. He subs in Chad Thomas. He subs in Anthony Moten. That's his best pass rushers lined up now, trying to get heat on Hayden Moore.
Trying to avoid their third 3 and out of the half. 3rd and 16. Inside screen. And they will be punting again as Shaq Washington was tackled by Kirby.
Second time Kirby's made plays on 3rd and long where there were screen plays where he recognizes it, goes out and makes a tackle in space. You saw Jermaine Grace get hurt earlier, come back in the game. They're thin at linebacker, but Kirby's done a great job with his eyes and reading those screens. You going to kick it to him again?
This time Geraci sky punts it and drives Elder back inside the 15. And that was a far better choice. College football rankings are brought to you by Capital One. Of course, Ohio State sits atop. They face 4-0 Indiana. 4-0 Indiana. Haven't been able to say that in a while. Ole Miss Florida is a real intriguing one. That'll be 7 o'clock on ESPN. And Notre Dame Clemson. 4-0 versus 3-0. Primetime ABC.
How about Baylor Texas Tech? What's your over on that?
When I heard what it was, I said, you got to be kidding me.
What is it?
Maybe 3/4. It's around 80.
Like,
80
really?
Like
80 change.
89. It was 89.
You got two of the
They're gonna be north
fastest
of
tempo
89.
offenses, explosive. You like offense? Check that game out.
If you hate defense, check that game out.
What a pop by Payne. Payne brought some pain.
5'9", 190 pounds, and he can bring the wood.
He should have hit with the helmet.
Leviticus Payne, senior defensive back for the Bearcats.
Just kind of get the sense these defenses, they are just motivated. These are different looking defenses. They're playing one speed faster here in the second half.
Kaya into traffic, but he finds Scott.
Wow. First of all, great job in the pocket. I mean, he's been hit a couple times the last couple possessions, took his time, wasn't worried about the pressure, and then threw a BB right into coverage.
To what has been his go-to guy in Rashawn Scott, and a guy that we hadn't heard of. We keep talking about that, but through the first 3 games, Rashawn Scott's been their leading receiver. It's really been a comfort zone for Kaya. They're showing you the good hands in traffic.
First down now as Walton joins in the backfield with Kaya. And Walton is able to get a gain of about 8 yards that time, tackled by Coleman. Flag is down back at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, it should have been holding. Big 73.
Holding, number 73 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Anytime you see a big defensive lineman throwing his hands in the air, it should happen every play because there's usually a hold every play.
You see Rashawn Scott here on the sidelines. This has been a physical game, and we saw Herb Waters go down briefly a couple series ago. This is a guy who's, again, he's been the most consistent go-to guy for Brad Kaya early this year. Very good route runner, very good hands. It's been a big possession target. Guy that Miami needs to get back on the field.
Backed up to a 1st and 20. And they were quickly closing on Herb Waters.
That shows you the arm strength right there of Brad Kaya. I mean, he had a good offseason in the weight room, and the coaching staff told us you could tell in his arm strength. This is all the way across the field. I know it doesn't get a lot of yards, but there aren't a lot of arms in college football that can make that throw.
Most of the time when Miami's been stopped, it's when they've done this, though. 2nd and 20, back themselves up. Now Cincinnati, you got to understand what it does. It allows me to drop back and play soft and give you those 5-yard routes. Somebody's got to make plays with the ball in their hands after they catch it.
Thrown to the outside, caught at the 30-yard line by Cager that time.
See, in situations like this in the first 3 games of the year, that when Rashawn Scott's on the field, you can line him up outside, line him up inside, and he's a big target on 3rd down. Now somebody else has to make a play. You got a freshman, Njoku on the field. Braxton Berrios, number 8, comes back on the field. He's a guy that's missed some time because of a knee injury.
Third and 6 for Kaya. Receivers 2 by 2. And a first down as out of the backfield came Mark Walton.
Just another example of good decision, but a quick decision. Watch how quickly Brad Kaya gets through his 1st and 2nd read here. Play fake left? No. Right middle of the field? No. Right now. Ball's
where did he hit
out.
him? And he hit him in stride so he could keep running.
Which is so important with running backs. I mean, their catch radius isn't the same as Megatron's. I mean, you have to put it out in front or put it on his numbers. Nice accurate ball.
Not quite Joe Tess's catch radius.
Wait a minute now. Walton with a gain of 2.
Don't sleep on it, Joe. I'm telling you.
We'll get back to spinning it next week at USC, David.
We have our spin sessions every week.
Gotta get back into that slot.
In the
very much impressed.
Yes, you know, you've been good in the slot, Joe. I mean, Pollock's a guy that we can
Pollock
move around.
Pollock can stretch the field.
Well, yeah, we've almost mastered the back shoulder down inside the 5-yard line. But with you, Joe, I'm excited about your mismatch nightmare capabilities in the slot against a slower,
middle-aged speed,
linebacker or a smaller safety. We got big plans for you come late November.
2nd and 7. Kaya, good look that time. Threw it to the inside of Brady. Another first down as Miami's in a groove.
His offensive line's giving Kaya a lot of time. You know, they've been a great surprise. They lost 4 starters last year, including Eric Flowers, the 9th overall pick to the Giants at left tackle. This group, when you watch them on film, right now, not really any All-America talents that jump out at you, but they're just tough. They're blue-collar. They fight you. Only giving up 3 sacks coming into the game and the fewest tackles for loss in the country, and they're doing a good job right now protecting number 15.
Walton just trying to grind out about 2.5 yards.
You get a chance here to check out, really, Daniel Isidora. He's the vet. Everybody else at the start of the season, I mean, they were just wide-eyed and hadn't had a lot of reps. And every week they play, they're gelling, they're getting better. And I've been impressed watching them as a unit.
And all the weapons outside, too. So you got Kai as a sophomore. You got Cooley's a junior. I'm starting to see other guys on the outside, too, that are coming of age that are all young. This offense should get better and better as the year goes on, and then next year should be hard to stop.
Some motion there as the flag came in.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So that's what happens when you give them praise. You praise the offensive line and then jump off sides.
Well, inconsistency, I think that comes from youth. And Trevor Darling, again, extremely talented. Number 7 tackle prospect out of high school. Had a penalty on a hold last drive. Another penalty here. Playing on the road, remember. This is easily the loudest environment they've been in. A lot of these young guys up front paying attention to the snap count, staying in rhythm. It can be a challenge.
His second penalty of this drive, 2nd and 13. Kaya gets it out quickly and smartly to Herb Waters. It'll be 3rd down from there. Kaylee.
In this game, there was discussion among the O-line, particularly Alex Gall, asking the other offensive linemen if they could hear Kaya's cadence in this crowd. As you mentioned, the loudest crowd they've played before this season. They seem to have worked through that and figured out how they best needed to communicate, but certainly a point for discussion among this group.
See how they communicate here with a little pressure being shown on 3rd and 3. Now Kaya checks. Under 5 on the play clock, and he's still talking to Walton. 3rd and 3. Walton, nowhere to go. Tackle for loss. Good job by Norman Oglesby.
The interior of this defensive line is stout. And right now, Alex Pace didn't make the tackle, but he made the play. 99 right here. We saw him just walk this guard. Watch him blow up the center and get penetration. And Walton, the running back, that's the guy that he runs into. They are good and they are deep inside.
Cole Front did a nice job there.
Well, think about starting running outside the tackles if you're Miami.
What was a promising drive now has Justin Vogel on to punt. And he gets back rotation here as it tries to pin it, but it does bounce through. Defense, the call here in the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati by 7.
Since Deion Bush and Jamal Carter at safety got back on the field here in the second half for Miami, it's been a bit of a struggle for Hayden Moore in the Cincinnati offense. Rejected by Chad Thomas, missed throw to Shaq Washington. The pass rush is picked up, incomplete to Max Morrison, then Chad Thomas takes Deion Green for a ride for the sack.
Well, yeah, it's been a big difference, and it's been a big difference because he was getting the ball out quick and in rhythm in the first half, and Miami's taking that now.
Moore gets going here against Miami's defense with 8 yards to Washington. That was against Deion Bush.
Yeah, Hayden Moore's clock has quickened up.
Sped up, yeah.
Quite a bit here in the second half. Miami's starting to bring a little bit more pressure now as well in blitzing.
Here's Green, and he will move the chains. Tripped up by toolbox Trent Harris.
And that's what they got to get back to a little bit too, because Miami's done a good job of spreading out, making sure they're taking away the quick game. They got numbers in the box if they want to run the football. They just haven't been able to get any push up front. Need to get back to the running game.
Moore overthrew his intended target that time as he was looking for Washington, covered by Artie Burns.
Nice job by Artie Burns kind of holding up on this hit. I mean, a couple years ago, that was an opportunity for an absolute blow-up shot. And we talk about how targeting penalties have curbed the reactions and actions just of players. Yeah, their behavior on the field. And obviously this team knows that better than anybody, having 2 targeting fouls last week. Just a headsy play by Artie Burns, not doing anything unnecessary.
2nd and 10 now. Final moments here of this 3rd quarter. Moore looking for a release downfield, and he got it, but wasn't able to connect with Johnson.
So here comes the mass substitution again for Miami. Muhammad, number 8, comes in the game. Getting their pass rushers in, and this has been kind of the story of the 3rd quarter for this Miami defense, I think.
The biggest number 11 in college football goes to the sidelines.
Mike Weish.
It's slimming for a 336-pound guy.
3rd down and 10 for Hayden Moore. Nice bunch trips to the near side. See if they can continue things here. And the pressure gets to him. And that'll end a scoreless third quarter. We had a combined 47 points in the first half. But Jawan Young and that Miami defense put a stamp to close out a scoreless third quarter. Al Wood finish up. Stay with us. More from Cincinnati coming your way. Joe Jesse, David Cayley with you here in Cincinnati, where aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Whether you drive 100 yards, 100 miles, choose Goodyear tires for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Start the fourth quarter 27-20 here, and come Saturday, you got a doubleheader on ABC or ESPN2. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Baylor. Ohio State, the 17-game win streak. Indiana 4-0 for the first time since 1990, and Baylor stepping up in competition.
Wow.
Geraci sends it back. Ooh. That was covered up there.
That was close.
At the 11-yard line, it was close with the Miami player laying on the field.
Perry was laying on the ground. The ball, number 34, Perry, watch him. He gets tripped up. Ball's bouncing towards him. It hits the Cincinnati player first. It wouldn't have mattered. But his head's up for him. If it touches you, you better grab that football.
62-yard punt by Geraci as Miami trailing by 7 to start this fourth quarter.
He's giving a lot of love to Brad Kaya, hadn't we? It's a big moment. You know, he's got to answer. Hadn't done anything in the second half so far. 0 points.
Flag comes in late that time. That flag came in from 20 yards away.
Yeah, gotta get a pass interference. That's what he's signaling.
That was Mike Tyson who had the coverage there.
He's in the slot.
Tyson get a little tug.
He's got that right hand on his back. It was hard to see if he was grabbing jersey or not.
Chris Herndon, the receiver that Kaya intended to get it to.
He's definitely holding his jersey. I don't know if he was tugging or pushing him.
Joe, I'm very surprised you haven't given a Mike Tyson reference yet.
I've dropped one last week, David. There's only so many you can go with.
Well, Joe, every week we get to hear about how you feel. He's one of the top 5 heavyweights.
Don't even get me started
history,
here.
So
I thought he was
this Mike Tyson was born in
time.
1993, and that was 3 years after Tyson lost the title to Buster Douglas. So hard to see the inspiration there. Yearby. Good blocking that time, out across the 30 to the 35-yard line.
And this is where Miami's had their most success running the ball, outside the tackles. Get away from those big bodies on the interior of the line. You pull linemen, getting outside, extra bodies. That's got to be the focus here in the fourth quarter.
Come out and measure here. Crowd is still booing over the pass interference call. Well, Miami had the bye week before this Thursday night game against Cincinnati, and then look ahead. There's Florida State standing right there on October 10th.
And this is the most difficult stretch of games consecutively, I think, for Miami all season long. You get Virginia Tech, a little bit banged up right now at home. You get Clemson at home, and which is good news for Miami. They've actually won 15 of their last 18 games when they play on home soil. And then, of course, you got to go to Duke, who just looked really good last weekend in a big win against Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Delayed handoff. Yearby going to try to pick up a block from his receiver. And he is run out at the 44-yard line.
I really like Eric Wilson, who just made the tackle on that play. He's not the biggest linebacker in the country. He's 219 pounds. This guy just has speed, and he just finds the football. He's always around the ball. He does a good job slipping blocks like he does right there, and then closes in on Yearby for the tackle. He can cover. He's a complete football player.
Kaya As he finds Scott, who tries to dart ahead towards midfield, will be marked down at the 49-yard line.
Saw that corner blitz quick too, man. He read that. He didn't waste any time. Once Kai gets the ball in his hand, there's no giveaway. That corner's holding. He sees it right now.
The advantage of being 6'4", being able to throw that ball on a line, get it over top of the cornerback. It's a ball that has to get to the receiver quickly before the safety can break it up.
First down near midfield for Kaya and the Canes, looking to tie this game here in the fourth quarter.
Got man coverage, a lot of guys in tight. You can take a shot deep here.
Yerby, he's got the corner. Cuts back inside. Nice move by Joe Yerby. This is a young man who overcame so much. Father was in prison. Said he would cry seeing other kids playing ball with their dad. He was told he was too small. You know, he's a father himself now as a 3-year-old boy. A 9-month-old girl. Spent a good part of the summer back home working out on his own to be with his family.
He's a great story. And I'll tell you what, he's one heck of a player too. Only a sophomore. More good things ahead. Joe Yerby. This outside running game, it's something Miami's got to continue with.
And he continues his big night, over 100 yards as he gets it close to the 30-yard line.
A lot of what Miami likes to do in the running game is zone plays, zone runs, where the offensive line just kind of stays on a track. And as a running back, you got to be patient. You got to find your own hole. You don't know before the snap which crease you're going to run through. And I think both Joseph Yerby and Mark Walton both do a very good job of allowing the blocks to set themselves up. And then when they see the crease, putting their foot in the ground and getting north.
2nd and 2, Walton comes in. As Kaya directs him to flank him to the left side. And from there, he does pick up the first down as he was met by Jenkinson.
Here's an example of that zone blocking. Everything's just kind of going this way. He's just going to get the football, kind of wait, hesitate, and then just punch it up when he sees the crease. I mean, this thing could go outside, but right there's that little gap right to the right of the left guard, Alex Gall. Got to be able to have that patience if you're running in this time of offense. Both these guys can do it.
Walton now split to the top of your screen as they go empty on first down. A little bit of pressure, gets rid of it, and it's complete as Herndon is driven back that time. But they will mark him forward progress at about the 18.
I think everybody saw that, including Kai, knew he was going to get whacked on that play. Did a good job of hanging in there. Miami drives, they've gotten down here a bunch. They've shot themselves in the foot several times with penalties and backed themselves up, took a sack before a field goal. Really running the football well now. These second down and shorts, maybe you can afford to take a shot because you know you can get it on third.
And Kaya quickly turned with that play clock coming down to take a timeout. We'll take it with them. Miami marching to tie the game here in the fourth quarter. Brad Kaya, Miami's sensational sophomore, has completed his last 9 passes. And on this drive, as they look to tie the game, Joe Yerby has been very good running the ball as well. Mark Walton now in as the back for the Canes. Second and 1, and Kaya, as he's so good at communicating and seeing what the defense is offering up, checks at the line again. Coming off the timeout, 2nd and 1. Walton. Good surge through the hole, and it is a first down for Miami.
This offensive line is just kind of taken over here on this last drive. They're getting great surge off the ball and making this offense so much more difficult to stop. Play action becomes so much more impactful when guys like Joe Yerby and Mark Walton are having the success. It forces linebackers and safeties to suck up and potentially opens up an opportunity down the field for Kaya.
First down, they only bring 4. Kaya threw it short underneath as he was looking for Walton coming out of the backfield.
More pressure too in his face.
Yep.
And it was Muhan, number 92, coming off the edge.
Say the full name, please.
Silverberry Muhan.
That's one of the best names in college football.
He's coming right this way, and he's not going to get home and make the sack, but forces Kai to just have to step up a little bit, maybe deliver this.
I think he
hit his arm too a little bit, yeah. We've seen him line up on the right side and the left side. Good job with his speed off the edge.
Walton spins his way to the 10-yard line this time.
Critical third down right now in the red zone. You know, I go back to Rashawn Scott, number 11, and a guy that had a quiet first half, but in these situations, big body at 6'2", 200 pounds, good route runner and strong hands. He's got a matchup outside that Brad Kaya wants.
Now this is a big one right here. Under 10 minutes to play in the game, trailing by 7, 3rd and 6. Play clock counting down. And another timeout used by Miami.
That's
as James Coley and Kaya.
Now, yeah. 2 they've used on this drive now. There's still a lot of time left. You don't want to waste these kind of timeouts. Obviously, you don't know if you're going to need to use them later on in what's been a close game. I think the last timeout called by Kaya was a good one. The clock was winding down, and it was a critical third down. This time now, though, I mean, that's a time as a staff. You got to get the play in, and if you're Brad Kaya, you got to get the whole process started.
This one's not critical?
Very critical.
Just need a little extra time.
Any matchup that you see.
Yeah, I'm going Rashawn Scott
on 3rd and
still.
6 here.
That's my guy. You know, the guy that's proven to me through 3 games, if I'm Brad Kaya, that in this situation, I could count on. If I got a man-to-man situation on the outside, he's a guy that can run a go and high point the football. He can big body a slant.
He's got a big body to the inside of him too in Njoku. He now comes in motion here on 3rd and 6. Off the timeout, critical moment for Miami. And they run the ball on 3rd and 6. And Walton trying to spin free, but struggles to do so. Alex Pace again, the first one to get there.
Why are you running in the strength of Cincinnati's defense? You've had success running the edges the whole time. Have you not seen Pace and Broughton? Those boys in the middle, they've been eaten.
Curious play call off a timeout with 3rd and 6.
I think you try to, Joe, I think you try to sneak it in there and say maybe you get 4th and short and maybe you'll go for it, but Brad Kaya is your quarterback. You got to trust him in those situations. If you know how good he is, you got to trust him to make a play for you.
So they settled for a Michael Badgley field goal from 26 yards away. And once again, Alex Pace a couple times tonight. He has been the star on the inside of the Cincinnati defensive line.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sprint.
Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, and Kaylee Hartung. Glad to start your college football weekend here in Cincinnati. 27-23, the home team just came up with a stop here in the 4th quarter. Miami settled for a field goal. They beat Miami to Cincinnati the first time they met in 1947. They haven't won since. 11 straight games won by Miami in this series. Of course, Miami, one of the 29 remaining undefeated teams in college football as we start this weekend. Frank Labate here. Oh, and he is nailed on kickoff coverage that time.
Guess who?
That was Deion Bush. Welcome back.
With authority. Al Golden said that getting him back in the game would help the defense
and special teams.
Found out why right there.
Now Cincinnati last 4 drives, very limited thanks to that Miami defense. They're going to need to get their offense one more chance here. 8:55 remaining, trailing now by 4. Williams He is wrestled down by Chad Thomas.
Just not a lot of room anywhere along this defensive line for Miami. They picked up the pass rush, but in the running game as well. They're closing lanes and winning their one-on-one matchups.
Moore, stick throw downfield, overthrew but tapped and caught by McKay. McKay did a great job of keeping it with him. That was just beyond him and he pulled it off.
And how about the release by a long striding 6'5" wide receiver? I mean, that's tremendous athleticism.
52-yard reception by Mikhail McKay. Williams, good hole, big run, Jose Williams.
I saw Williams make a big play earlier in the game. A long play when safety came up and missed it. Watch this cut right here. Watch when he gets him in the hole. Look at Crawford, 25, coming in there trying to fit. He says, no, sir. Look at the physicality.
That's the second time we've seen him.
He hits Elder, and Elder's like, no, thank you.
People don't want to tackle him. They didn't want to tackle him earlier. Broke a tackle from Rayshawn Jenkins on a touchdown run.
He's thick.
Corn Elder found out that time.
He's a little thick.
First and goal. Williams again. Only a gain of maybe 2 there. Jawan Young with a good stick.
The red zone offense had been Cincinnati's biggest problem, aside from turnovers early this season. Already tonight, though, they've been really good down here. They've had 3 drives in the red area. 2 times they've come away with 7s. It's obviously a huge key in an offensive game like this. A lot of points.
Bring in their bigger unit with Cogswell as they go 2 tights here. Moore to pass. Reaching out for it. Touchdown, Cogswell.
He had his guy clearly beat, but watch his right foot. It looked like it was close up here to see if he stepped out of bounds or not. Great play call, though. Running the football with ease.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 18 on the offense. The touchdown stands. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
His right foot, I thought it was. Right there. It looked like he was in, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked in. Gets the football across the plane.
Here we go.
Check it out again. I mean, yeah, oh, he's easily in. Hayden Moore, by the way, had 2 guys completely wide open. The success running the football sucked up linebackers, and Cogswell in the flat. He had a tight end wide open in the corner. Nice play call by Eddie Grant, the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Hadn't done anything offensively the whole second half. Miami goes down, kicks a field goal. All of a sudden, you got life and sucked the life right back out of Miami.
Hayden Moore and that guy, Tyler Cogswell.
Offside, defense, number 1, penalties decline. Kick good.
Cogswell's first career touchdown, and it comes in a huge spot. He gives Cincinnati an 11-point lead over the Canes. Big time in the 4th quarter. College Game Day built by the Home Depot coming your way from Clemson. Notre Dame at Clemson. Get up for 3 hours of all the best analysis with Game Day. Oh, the guys are down there watching a little Thursday night football. That's what we call a for the table kind of order right there. Bring a lot of apps for the table.
A lot of money at that table right there.
Don't forget about Bear. Don't forget about the Bear over there now.
Schiavo, Fitting, and Drew there. Trust me, there's some heavy-handed pours going on as the corp card is getting crushed at Clemson tonight.
Fitting better be picking up the bill.
Please. 34-23, Cincinnati with the big touchdown catch moments ago from Cogswell.
Could always be credit card roulette, Joe, and you could lose again.
I'm on a bad streak there, David. That one stings. After the penalty, this will be returned from the 12. Mark Walton trying to find some room. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Brad Kaya has a touchdown pass in 16 straight games. Who was the last Miami quarterback with a longer streak?
Oh.
I mean, they've had so many great ones.
How many Heisman quarterbacks have they had?
Yeah, but that was Dorsey, not the first to come to that list. I mean, he won 50 games, didn't he? I mean,
Braden Beard and kick coverage is being tended to by the medical staff. You know, that streak, of course, in danger tonight with Kaya. They had that long drive, that run play on 3rd and 6, settled for the field goal, and now the big margin here.
He's coming on the right side of your screen, I think. 85 just goes down, right? You see it right in the middle. He just kind of collapsed.
And there is Beard, able to get up to his feet.
those are always bad with the knees.
.646 to play and trailing by 11. This team that came in 3-0, had the win against Nebraska. Defense with all the takeaways and great turnover margin, going up against the Cincinnati offense that was revving from last week at Memphis and looking for a signature win here tonight. Can they close it out against the Canes? Kaya with time, and that is incomplete. It was stripped away by Dobard that time.
I've seen a lot of these defenders, especially these DBs for Cincinnati. They've just outcompeted Miami several times. Tyrell Gilbert right here doing a nice job getting his hands involved, wiping that away. Been impressed.
Gilbert and the Bearcats defense lined up here trying to put this game away. Pressure on Kaya, and the diving effort that time incomplete. As Yerby tried his best but couldn't hang on to it.
But did that hit the turf was the question, because that was close that he got his hands. It looked like he got his hands underneath it for a second just to pick it up. Nope, not even close.
No, yeah.
Definitely incompletion. Great call.
Now you got another 3rd and long situation now.
Kaya's getting hit every play, by the way.
That's
he can't even step up in the pocket.
Well, and he's not getting necessarily picked up and slammed, but guys are getting a hand on his throwing arm, or they're grabbing on his jersey, or they're forcing him to slide and maneuver inside the pocket. See Miami now. Brad Kaya doesn't like the personnel he's got on the field, and he was just making a timeout gesture.
Well, they only have 1 left. Remember, he used 2 on that drive that they only got 3 points out of.
So pass protection here for this offensive line. It's got to be big. You got to give Kaya time to step into a throw with conviction and deliver accurately.
It's been in the middle, right through here where all the pressure's coming.
3rd and 10. They run a stunt, little pressure, thrown and complete. And finally, Scott comes up big.
And that's what I'm talking about. As a quarterback, when you know you've got a guy in a critical situation that you can throw the football somewhere around him, with strong hands, he can make the play. I mean, watch this. This is very, very well covered, and it's a high throw, and there's a hand on the football, but strong mitts by Scott.
1st down throw now, quick out, and that was complete to Braxton Berrios. Coming up on 6 minutes to play. Kaya going to take a shot downfield. And it is complete to Herb Waters. Here comes Miami again.
And that was a great ball to give a receiver a chance. Herb Waters looked like he pushed off a good bit. Looks like he pushes Stevens right there a little bit. He swatted his hand.
I think he swatted his hand away.
But it's close, though. I mean, you can't. Right here, you can't see it. That's already past.
You know what? You know why he's able to turn around and locate the football?
Because he put arc underneath the ball.
Yeah, Brad Kaya, when he throws these deep throws, he puts a ton of air underneath it and allows his guys to adjust.
45-yard reception, now 1st and goal. Threw it behind Yerby that time. Excuse me. That was Eric Wilson coming in.
Brad
Far
Kaya,
after the play, wasn't it?
he was trying to get up off the ground. He got tangled up with Eric Wilson and ended up flipping up over top of his back. You'll see this again. Oof. I mean, that's the worst hit Brad Kaya's taken all night. Watch this. Eric Wilson's kind of on the ground, and he's kind of rolling away. Yeah, I mean, it's not Eric Wilson's fault. He just kind of turned around. And
but
Brad
he landed
Kaya's,
on his head is the concern there, you know?
Yeah.
Glad he's all right. That looked like Ronda Rousey tossing you this summer, Justin.
Little GMA.
Yeah.
Little MMA meets GMA with Rousey against Palmer.
Best decisions of my life.
Second and goal. Yearby. And he's taken down right around the 5-yard line. It'll be third down there. Kaylee.
Tess, Braden Beard has just been carted off beneath the stadium in tears. I have no further information, but we won't see him again tonight.
Hope the best for Beard. Third and goal.
And we got Rashawn Scott lined up at the top of the screen in the slot. We talked about how they could move him around inside, they could move him outside, and right now he's playing the point right up here.
Kaya. Incomplete. It'll be fourth and goal. Yearby was covered by Wilson.
What you doing here, Palmer?
I'm looking for 11. If it's outside one-on-one, if it's a jump ball, if it's in the slot, working over the middle of the field. But again, that's my comfort zone as a quarterback if I'm Brad Kaya. He's going to line up at 6'2", over top of a 5'9" corner in Leviticus Payne at the bottom of the screen.
Fourth and goal. Kaya has time to the end zone. Incomplete. That was Gilbert on the coverage that time.
Twice on this drive, Gilbert has been able to break up passes. These windows are small, and they're getting smaller for Brad Kaya to throw into. What a stop by Cincinnati's defense with their back against the wall.
Well, what do you think here on this fourth down? Was it?
Well, you see Daubert here. He's the tight end. He's running that double move. And Gilbert's going to have his right arm just kind of wrapped around his waist. You see right there. It's tucked around it. That easily could have been called pass interference.
So he said, "Is it?" And you didn't give me an answer again. Are you running for president or what, man?
We keep talking about Bushes and Carters.
It was holding.
No, this is a presidential. This is like
Herb Waters got
match.
away with one. Now Cincinnati got away with one at the end.
Here's Green as he takes the handoff and gives him plenty of breathing room. 9.5 yards there. Well, we asked you earlier, Brad Kaya has that touchdown pass streak that could go away tonight. 16 straight games. Last Miami quarterback with a longer streak? How about Ken Dorsey? 23 games with a touchdown pass.
Did a lot of winning with Ken Dorsey, didn't
Sure
they?
did. That clock is counting down now, coming up on 4 minutes. And Miami trails by 11. They've reached Cincy territory in 4 of the last 5 second-half drives, and they have 3 points to show for it. Second and 1, Green again. And that'll advance the chains, and they'll be able to take more time off the clock.
I didn't know Cincy could run the play clock down that low, Joe.
I'll tell you, the American Conference is really shaping up well when you consider Houston and Temple and Memphis, and now how flattering this win could be if Cincinnati can hold on for all those teams.
This could be the conference that has a New Year's Six representative. If any of those teams, Navy even included in that group, they go unbeaten in conference play. A lot of those teams already have big non-conference. Memphis has a huge game against Ole Miss coming up. Houston still has to play Vandy. Navy's going to play Notre Dame. Temple's going to play Notre Dame. No, Toledo right now from the MAC sitting good with wins over Arkansas and Iowa State, but keep your eye on the American.
This time Green can't get anywhere. as he was met by Kamalu.
I'll tell you the great thing, if you're Tommy Tuberville, what you've been happy about with your offense here, even though they haven't been as explosive in the second half, what have they not done, guys?
Turned it over.
They haven't turned the football over. And when they don't turn it over, the way their offense plays and the way their defense has been playing, they're a pretty good football team.
Turned it over once. That was in the first half. Of course, they came in with that being a real concern. They were 127 out of 127 in the country in turnover margin, second most turnovers in major college football coming into tonight. Green again, and he gets free. Green, midfield and beyond.
And stays in bounds. Smart play at the end, but again, Miami's a defense that's lived off of turnovers. Talking about turnovers for Cincinnati, they've lived off them all year, but watch this.
Watch watch this guy Carter here in the hole.
Okay, well, what is Deion Bush doing? Is that Deion Bush? No,
it's Carter.
That's Carter. What are you doing? You know they're running the football. Why are you backing up 20 yards down the field? Then you come up and obviously take a horrible angle, but is there a secret? It's a 4-minute offense. Now, I mean, this is just eat clock and we'll punt it before we throw the football, and Carter apparently didn't see that.
And Green, I think he's enjoying this role he's playing here as the clock counts down under 2 minutes. A reminder, Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Notre Dame and Clemson, 8 o'clock on ABC. This Notre Dame team, we've talked about them. I just think they are flat out a better program than even a team that played for the national title. All the losses, all the injuries, and still here they are. But a tough test Saturday night against Clemson. That's ABC, 8 o'clock Saturday night. How do you think this loss is going to sit with that crowd?
Obviously not very well. And again, it's a crowd desperate to get to their first conference title game in the ACC since they joined in 2004. They've got a lot of talent. We know they lost 7 NFL draft picks a year ago, but at least 5 of the last 6 years, they've had the best recruiting class in the Coastal Division. This game doesn't affect their ACC aspirations. It's a non-conference game. But they now have to rebound and rebound quickly. Games against Florida State and Clemson in the next 3 weeks.
Meanwhile, Cincinnati, as Green keeps doing his thing. Remember, a team that was 0-2, 0-2 in the American, 2-2 overall, in a conference that's really shaping up with good parity and good strength up top. Well, this is a nice one to notch on the belt.
And they need it because it was a tough loss last week against a very good Memphis team. But then remember who they're playing next on the road at BYU.
Tough one.
I mean, if you lose this game tonight, there's a good chance you're sitting at 2-4 potentially, getting back into conference play, and maybe you have a quarterback controversy. It was a big, big thing for them to come in here and get this win tonight.
Well, especially was going to say Gunnar Kiel, your quarterback's out, your 2 of your top receivers, your best running back. I mean, there's a lot of adversity that you've already faced.
There is Gunnar Kiel. Remember, left last week's game with that neck injury, and he's excited watching Hayden Moore, his understudy, who has blossomed in the past week and a half, was sensational with a school record even in the loss against Memphis, and then comes back home and slays Miami. All Tion Green on this drive here to put it away. 7 carries for 63 yards. These two teams first met back in 1947. Cincinnati won. Then Miami took 11 straight until tonight, when the backup quarterback turned starter, Hayden Moore, got the job done. We got a field stormer at historic Nippert with a record crowd of 40,101 watching Cincinnati beat Miami 34-23. For Jesse, David, and Kaylee, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your night. SportsCenter is next.